Can. Okay, there we go. So a technical mistake on my part, right at the top of the show. Welcome back. It's the sequel. I promise it'll be better than the first one, especially from now on. Now I've refreshed my browser and we're good to go. We are heading to Portugal. Of course, last time out we were in Barcelona. It was absolutely fantastic. The racing was close. We decided that with lockdown still not over for most of Europe and a bit of COVID misery going on, we want to try and bring a smile to a few more faces. So we are going with a second event here. We're having another Esports Invitational for World RX coming to you from Montalegre in Portugal. Now, I tried this earlier on. It's not as easy as you think because it's round the wrong way. There it is. It's in a bit there. That's Portugal there, but we're actually just there in the UK. Unfortunately, none of us have gone to Portugal, none of the drivers either, but we are bringing you a stellar lineup of drivers from all over the world. We've got people who are staying up extremely late and people who've got up really early. We've got 8 new drivers for you, and some of them are absolute superstars. I must just say, I've had a few messages from people, why is so-and-so on the list or not on the list? We are really grateful to these drivers for giving up their time. And some of these drivers, remember, are working. They've got other jobs to do as well. So we're going to have a different entry each time. We promise you we'll bring in the very best in terms of World RX drivers and some of the best drivers from other categories as well. Cannot wait to get started. My name's Andrew Coley. I'm not very good with computers, apparently. Let's hope Neil Cole is better. Neil's joining me again for this one. Neil, where are you? There he is.
Here I am. Can you hear me? Am I all good now?
You're fine. Your mic's not muted, mate, because you're not terrible like me. I muted it to clear my throat and then didn't unmute it. There you go. That's commentator problems. I normally have a big red light in front of me where it says it's on or off. Luckily, there's somebody cleverer than me telling me in my ear that I've got it wrong. Are we ready to crush quarantine, Neil Cole?
Yes, definitely. I just wishing myself up in those mountains in Montalegre. What a brilliant place it is. That long and winding road up from Porto. It's a very special place to host Rallycross up there in the mountains in northern Portugal. But we can imagine that we're there right now. We can paint the picture for you and race just like we do there. And the last time we were there was 2018. So we should have been there today. Let's recreate it by the magic of esports.
Well, luckily, somebody's recreated it for us beautifully already, and that, of course, is Codemasters. Thank you to them for making the brilliant game Dirt Rally 2.0, which is what we're using for this. I promise you, when you go to the tracks, and you should go to the tracks when we're able to in real life, you will be stunned at the detail which is in it. It is literally like looking at the track at Montalegre. The only difference is when we're in our spotters town, normally we can see this incredible view literally down the mountains. It is a mountain. The weather's pretty random. I think we've got the weather on random again here. Unfortunately, I don't think the weather includes snow, Neil, which is what we had last time we went there. And it was mad, wasn't it?
Oh, it was crazy. Yeah, I was running around. You were in the spotters tower at the commentary booth, having the sideways snow coming in. I was standing out in it, and half of me was covered in snow. And it was the classic Johan Kristoffersen doing the risky business slide onto the podium. Absolutely cool. And yeah, it was freezing. So most people would kind of go to Portugal thinking, oh, it's going to be, practically tropical or Mediterranean at least. But no, it's always chilly up there, but always spectacular action. And on today's invitation, I'm particularly excited about one matchup. I think we've got Antonio Felix da Costa, of course, who is Portuguese and in Portugal. But Mika Salo, we're reuniting the 2006 Spa 24 Hours Ferrari GT winners, teammates Mika Salo and Timo Scheider. And who's the missing third driver? A Portuguese driver, Rui Agua. So there's a weird connection here that we've done something very special for this invitational.
Look at Neil, he's done some homework there, hasn't he? He knows all about Le Mans and things. I tend to stick to races that are 6 minutes long. Neil, of course, has been to Le Mans plenty of times in his duties presenting for them. So great to have Neil Cole back with us. Now, last time out, we were, of course, at Catalunya RX in Barcelona, and Matthias Adilson was the winner there. Fantastic drive by him. Great pass in the semi-finals. He sent us the Twitch of that pass because we were a bit dubious at the time. And actually, Matthias had done a very nice clean move up the inside. I think it was it was Matasia, was it? Yes, it was. It was Lucas Matasia and, of course, Andreas Backrud. Now, I'm sure Backrud might have something to say about Lucas Matasia's move because I think that was what opened the door. But we should be able to have a word with our friend Matthias Adilson. Here he is, Matthias Adilson. Thank you for joining us. Congratulations on your win, first time in Barcelona. How's it going?
Thank you very much. It was a big surprise for me. I was invited quite late into the race, and I really had a great day. So it was a big fight up there. I was struggling to get the view from my point of view of the overtake in the semi-final, but I was happy that everyone could see how my view was.
Yeah, your view just was a nice big gap, wasn't it? I think Lucas Matej's view, Lucas Matej's view was possibly slightly more contentious. I think there may have been a little bit of contact between him and Andreas Backerud. I mean, maybe you could see from where you were sitting.
Yeah, I was really looking into the broadcast after the race, and I saw, no, what did I do? And then I saw my own stream, and it looked so much bigger gap than I remember it. So I just was lucky that they hit each other before the corner and opened the gap, and I take it because it was a place of the final, and I was a lucky one.
What's brilliant about that, Matthias, is that it gives a real sense of just how in the heat of the moment you are driving in a sim race just as much as in a real race. Like if you can tell if you're door to door, side to side, how big a gap is, and even you have to go back and watch the replays. Of course, it's been a very controversial weekend this weekend for sim racing around the world. And we have stewards watching today who will decide whether your moves are penalizable or not.
Yeah, that's good. You know, many people don't think maybe esport is the same focus you need. It's just a screen, but it's so far away from that. It's really, really onto it. I must say it's maybe always almost the same as in a real car. Of course, nothing can happen, but in your you can hurt yourself or something like that because it's a game. But still, the focus is absolutely the same as in the real car, and you get as slightly nervous, as slightly prepared for the race.
Matthias, what can you tell us about Portugal? I've seen your Twitch lap, which was posted earlier this week, and it was very quick, mate. But I think this track is extremely hard to stay quick at. There's not a lot of room for error. No,
especially because of the curb. You have some crazy curb in this race. Obviously, in the game, we were discussing about this in the lobby about the cutting over the curbs, and we decided that everyone can do on the game limits, and it puts you in a very big danger because if you put a centimeter wrong, you will be out and send out in the wall. So would you like to take the risk or not? I don't know. Maybe in the semi-final, but in the qualifier, I think you should stay a little bit steady.
All right, Matthias. Well, look, we'll say thank you very much and wish you the very best of luck for today. Matthias Adrielson, the winner of the first ever World RX Esports Invitational. Going to get out there and get Sender. Yeah, no worries, mate. Good luck. So, Matthias there giving you a little bit of a head. Yeah, we'll see. Giving you a little bit of a heads up about the Portuguese track. Now, I'll say we've been there several times before with the World Rallycross Championship, and we can give you a little bit of a throwback to when Petter Solberg was taking part in the factory Volkswagen. So have a look at this, and it'll give you an idea of what this circuit's like in real life, and then you'll be able to see just how good the game is. Montalegre in Portugal, 1,050 metres above sea level. This one is a real roller coaster. 60% asphalt and 40% dirt, and it's real dirt. We ride on board with Solberg down towards turn one. It is a very big stop, regardless of whether you come from the start or the normal lap. He takes the standard lap. The Joker comes around the outside and merges on the left here. Now into the really committed part, round to the right and the left. Look at this. It drops away. Solberg uses the handbrake to tip the car in through the dip and up over the huge Montalegre curves onto this dirt section, which does clean up and can make a difference to lap time. Round the right-hander, this one tightens, and it's important to get the car lined up close on the inside. Solberg does it perfectly. Pop it up over the curve on the left, close to the barrier on the right. Big commitment through the final chicane, and that is a lap of Montalegre. So you've seen the venue. It is a hell of a circuit. Very, very difficult indeed to master. And there are some of our wonderful entries. That's not our full field. Obviously, we've got 20 drivers lining up for you. But up at the top there, we've got Timmy Hansen in the middle. You've got Kevin Hansen, one down. Just to the left. Oh, Rainis Nitish. Tough afternoon, mate. Eh? Rainis having a big old yawn. He's probably, I know Viestas is with him. So Viestas is probably just, yeah, that's right. We were looking. Matthias Adrielson over the right, down the bottom right corner there. You've got Ollie Bennett. In the middle on that row, you've got Connor Martell. Now, Connor is a previous ARX2 champion. John Armstrong down the bottom. There's John. Of course, he works for Dirt Rally. Top right, Mika Salo. Ex-F1 driver taking part. Bottom left for Matvey Faraskin. So Matvey, of course, is a Russian rallycross driver who took part last year a couple of times in the Skoda. We've also got Shane Van Gisbergen, Australian V8 champion driver who's also won the Bathurst 24-hour We've got Antonio Felix da Costa, who is the leader of the Formula E Championship. So absolutely fantastic lineup for you. Rokas Bachuska too, and Bilko too. So Bilko is Blake Williams. He is a FMX rider, Monster Energy FMX rider from Australia. So him and Shane van Gisbergen, they're in tomorrow already. Here's the grid for the first race. We're on the outside sitting with Mika Salo. Then it's Kevin. Well, it doesn't look right to me. Sorry, no, my grid's round the other way. So we're on board on the outside with Kilian Dall'Olmo. So Kilian Dall'Olmo with an absolutely brilliant start. Wet conditions here for Q1. Dall'Olmo going to go straight to the Joker. So Dall'Olmo's gone Joker into the standard lap. Kevin Hansen has gone. Matthias Adielson right up behind him there. Mika Salo on the tail of Adielson. Adielson sideways over the curbs. That's what he was saying about using all the road and a little bit more. And it's Dall'Olmo and Nicky Team who've gone Joker.
Yeah, and you can see just how slippery it is. We've got some wet conditions here, so Mika Salo was a little bit wild over the big curb on turn 4. But interesting Joker split, of course. It's a first corner Joker, so depending on your position on the grid, it's quite a clear decision where you go.
Adielson had a look up the inside there. Neil, he's going to try and make the pass. Gets in the door of Kevin Hansen. Adielson alongside Kevin Hansen. Kevin holds on just. Adelson's wild through this section here. They're both using a lot of the road. Neil, explain to the guys at home what the penalties are normally. So when we're at Montalegre, those bollards are key, aren't they, in real life?
Yeah, in real life, you can touch it once and you get a warning. If you touch it twice, you get a 5-second penalty. And if you touch it 3 times, you're disqualified. If I remember correctly, those are the rules.
And now, of course, Neil, you are in the game. Neil is the voice in the game. So that's the rules in real life. In the game, it's a little bit more, let's say, open to interpretation. So I did a lap of this circuit for home laps with Catalunya RX. And I must admit, I took some liberties with the line, let's say. And you can get away with it, Neil, to a certain extent. But what Matthias, I think, is saying is that the in-game penalties will give you an automatic penalty, won't they, if you take just a centimetre too far. So it is a risky strategy.
Yeah, but you can, as you can see there, you can
yes.
drive over the curbs, and my spotter voice will not give you a warning of track limit. So there is a certain amount of leeway, and in these conditions, you kind of need it. So this is Kevin Hansen taking the joke, which he needs to, because this is the last lap. So it's
going to be close between him and Matthias Adielson at the merge. Yeah. It looks like Kevin has got it, has he? We're waiting for it to update. Kilian Dall'Olmo, though, absolutely killing it. He is out front, and of course he has recently signed for Set Esports. That's UC Pinamaki's esports team. Pinamaki runs the Gronholm RX squad. He is the world champion in Dirt Rally 2.0, and demonstrating here why Kilian Dall'Olmo going to take the first race of the day. Matthias Adielson, the winner from Barcelona, holds on for P2. Kevin Hansen gets third. How far back is Mika Salo? Salo runs wide. Looks like he's made a mistake, and Nicky Team's gone through. Team runs a bit deep with 2 corners to go. Up on the curves on the inside. Salo hops up over the curve into the armco on the right hand side. Mika Salo with a torrid finish to this one. Oh, off the armco in front, Nicky Team. And Salo crosses the line as well. So super tight stuff there. The front 3. Well, I suppose actually look at Dall'Olmo. Dall'Olmo taking it by nearly 4.5 seconds. That's an incredible performance by him. Adielson and Kevin Hansen pretty close together. Nicky Team and Salo just a little way off the back, and giving you a good demonstration there of why it is a bit tricky. Right, now we've got the grid for this one, and we can explain to you how it works. So you're stood on the start lights looking back at the drivers. So Rainis Nitish is on the inside. Shane van Gisbergen next to him, the Aussie V8 champion. He's been, of course, before. Absolute legend. You've got to go and watch some of his moves. This guy can pass big time. John Armstrong, who last time, of course, made it through to the semi-finals. Connor Martel, ARX2 champion from 2018. And Quinton Dall'Olmo on the outside. Took the TQ last time, of course, brother of Kilian. Here we go. So Rainis Nitish, I know, has been practicing like mad at home and at the office also of Riga RX. So they've got a different sim at the office, which Rainis wanted to try. So he's tried both. And then he's messaged this morning saying that he's broken the paddle shift on his steering wheel. And so he thinks he's going to have to use the sequential lever, which he says is worth half a second a lap. So nearly he's getting his excuses in early.
I love the fact as well that this is Rainis' first ever esports sim racing event, ever. He's never competed in one online before. So a baptism of fire, certainly in this race, when you look at who he's up against in his first ever online race, not just John Armstrong and Quentin, 2 brilliant sim racers, but Connor Martel and Van Giz. Ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Just waiting for the drivers to get themselves into the lobby so we can fire this grid off for you.
Should we just explain how the format? We'll do that afterwards.
Or we will in a second. Yeah, we did miss a format explainer at the start with us, probably us chatting away about the lovely weather in Portugal. Look, sunshine and rain, that is about bang on the money. There we go, a little wave in the car. Where are we? Middle of the grid, I think. So we're behind John Armstrong. We are. So to John's right is Shane van Gisbergen. To his left is Conor Martel. Conor Martel going for the Vader Spec Audi. Oh, it's a good start on just to John's right. Down towards turn one, Shane van Gisbergen looking for the whole shot here. Up the inside, though, is that Rainis Nitish who's got in his door? I think it is. So Nitish manages to take the lead from van Gisbergen with just a little bit of contact. Quinton Delolmo, John Armstrong have gone Joker. Conor Martel not showing as Joker and not showing in this pack. So has Conor had a disconnect maybe? Can't see where Martel is, but good start there by van Gisbergen. Having a look back up the inside now of Rainis Nitish. Nitish runs wide into the door. Goes van Gisbergen. I say this guy can pass. If you've ever watched V8, my goodness me, won't need asking twice. In the barriers on the inside and the outside. Great move. Going to get a good run down the straight now. Shane van Gisbergen looking for a move up the inside. And Rainis Nitish on the brakes. Down at turn one. Epic pass by van Gisbergen. They're losing time though. John Armstrong is that, or is it Delolmo? It's Quinton Delolmo who's made it up into this battle between the front three. Nitish goes backwards. Runs the car wide. Van Gisbergen now leading. John Armstrong has come up into this group as well. Absolute carnage. These guys hold each other up just a little bit, and the esports guys have caught right up to the back of them. So Van Gisbergen now needs to get his head down and check out. Neil, I think we've lost Conor Martel.
Yeah, Conor Martel dropped out, I think, during the first lap, which is a shame. That's got to be a connection issue. But that first lap between Van Gis and Rainis was like a drift demo, side by side, swinging, fully sideways. Really spectacular and great, clean driving too.
Martel's just appeared. There he is. You can see his ghost. So if you're ghosted out, that's because you're a lap down. So Conor Martel has either had a connection issue or had a big off on the first lap, and he's a long way back. It's a shame for Conor because he's got up super early in the States. I say Van Gisbergen is already in tomorrow down in Australia, I think. So we've got people on 2 different days in 4 or 5 different time zones, but fantastic stuff. Van Gisbergen's going to have to take his Joker lap now. He goes Joker. Look on the inside for John Armstrong. Tell you what, Van Gisbergen's obviously put some hours in on this game because he knows how to take that Joker lap. Going to come out where P3? He does. So it's only John Armstrong and Quinton Delolmo who are in front of him. Brilliant drive by Van Gisbergen.
Well, the good news for Conor, I have to say, and for everyone, is because of the format of qualifying that's unique to Rallycross. There are 4 rounds of qualifying. So if you have one bad qualifying round, there's every chance that if you have 3 reasonable ones, you'll make it through. And what you've got to do is be in the top 10 of 20 drivers to make it through to the semi-final.
Armstrong takes this one from Quinton Delolmo, then Shane van Gisbergen gets third. Rainis Nitish crosses the line in fourth. You're on board with Martel, but I think Martel's a lap down. Let's see whether or not you can make it before the timer runs out. There's a 30-second timeout, and that's to stop you if you're playing online having to wait half an hour from someone who's absolutely terrible. And Conor is not terrible. He's a brilliant driver who I know has been practicing like mad as well. But with the glitching, I would suggest Conor maybe has some issues maybe with connection. So John Armstrong takes race 2 of Q1 from Quinton Delolmo, Shane van Gisbergen, and Rainis Nitish. Conor Martel with a DNF. Neil, I didn't note the times from the first one. Did you? 2:26.2 for Armstrong.
No, I would normally have written that down, but it was so chaotic, I didn't.
It was too exciting. That's fine.
Yeah, 2:26.
Oh, yes. Look at Antonio Felix da Costa is having such a good time that he's in full grin mode on the inside. Now, this is a bit of a departure. Felix da Costa is currently leading the Formula E Championship, which, of course, has been sadly held up by COVID, like so many other, well, like everything, like the whole world. So Antonio Felix da Costa, welcome to the World Rallycross Championship. Great to have him along. Timmy Hansen did brilliantly last time, got himself a P5 in Barcelona. In the middle of the grid, Blake Bilko Williams, who is driving Liam Doran's car this weekend. So Bilko, have a look for some of his videos online. This guy is an FMX legend. He has broken himself so many times, it's ridiculous. And we are really grateful for him, along with Shane, staying up super late in Australia to keep us entertained. Same for Ollie Bennett, who's back for another esports event with Lucas Matejia on the outside. So we've seen great starts from the esports regulars so far. Neil, I suspect they're starting certainly at least in second gear.
Yeah, they'd have to be, because especially in these conditions, you need to make sure you avoid wheel spin and get off the line cleanly, because even if you're on the outside of the grid and you're going to almost definitely take Joker first lap, or on the inside and take that sort of open hairpin right, which is turn 1, either way, you want as much clean speed into that first corner as you can possibly get to get ahead of the rest of the pack. Because once you get through that, it's just like threading a needle through this circuit. It's very, very narrow. There's normally only room for one car, so you have to be that one car ahead of all the others.
Now, I must point out that Shane van Gisbergen, if you're wondering, he's not an Australian. With Van Gisbergen isn't necessarily a very Australian name. He's actually a New Zealander. I wouldn't necessarily have said it was a very New Zealand name either. But, of course, he's most well known for racing in Aussie V8s. That's where you will have seen him making those incredible passes. And I got sent a video yesterday of him on in Bathurst. It was in I think it was in the 24-hour race, maybe a 12-hour race at Bathurst. To say, Neil, you're the endurance specialist. But absolutely incredible passes. And I have to say, very impressed with his skills. We just had a message in about the times. So look at Killian Delolmo did a 2:24.4. And his brother did, well, I was saying 2:27.6 here, but I've got a 2:26.2 off the screen. Okay, so Bilko, unfortunately, is having connection issues. So it looks like we've lost the 22 car. Liam Doran's car being driven by Monster Energy's Bilko, possibly not able to make it to the grid. That's a shame.
So yeah, it looks like it was a 2:23 was the total 4-lap time for John Armstrong, which is the quickest so far. That was in Quali 1, Race 1. And then the next quickest would be Killian Delolmo, 2:24.4. So
I've got Armstrong in our last one, Neil. Armstrong was in the second race, wasn't he? We'll wait for the results at the end. We've got some results coming through from race control as well. I'm with you. 2:26.2 I think was John's time, okay. But in race 2. Okay, so yeah, we're missing Bilko. That is a shame. Antonio Felix da Costa, we are behind here on the grid. Hopefully pulling at least second or third gear for this start. Here we go. Ready to race light goes out. And it's not a good start for Antonio Felix da Costa. Look at that. Bennett and Timmy Hansen away on the run down to turn 1. Fantastic camera angle right down there towards the braking zone. Bennett goes straight to the Joker. So Timmy Hansen, I reckon, has gone directly to the standard lap. Lucas Mateo, you should be able to recognise his livery. Was that Felix da Costa up the inside of Mateo? I think it was in the Joker lap, but he's lost it out to him. So those three have all gone Joker. Neil, what does Timmy do now? Bennett's run wide, look.
These three are going to slow each other up. So if I was Timmy, I would do the classic bang-in 3 perfect laps out front and Joker on the last lap and hope you've pulled out enough of a gap to bring home the win. And also, with no mud on your windscreen, just keep it nice and clean and bang in a really good time. And hopefully set the time that will win qualifying 1, which he did certainly in round 1.
Timmy Hansen has indeed elected to go for another lap out front, but he's got Lucas Mateo chasing him down. So Lucas Mateo made the pass on Ollie Bennett on lap 1. Lucas is one of our esports specialists who was very, very quick last time out, got P3. He was on the podium in Barcelona, so you need to watch that gap between Hansen and Mateo to see whether or not Timmy should Joker this time round. So it was 2.8. Is Timmy going to go Joker, or does he go standard lap down towards the end of the straight? Hansen has gone standard lap again, so what's the gap going to be? Watching it back, it's come down to 2.3. Neil, I think he should have gone and defended it.
Yeah, but it's the risk you have to take. It's the risk versus reward of having that clean windscreen and the trust that you can nail every apex and put in an even better lap and come out in front of Mateo. But it is definitely going to be tight.
So Hansen pops the curbs over towards the barriers on the right and then the left. Look for the timing line as they cross the start-finish line here. It was 2.8. It came down to 2.3. It's 1.7. 1.7. Mateo runs wide as he comes onto the straight. Hansen into the Joker lap now. Watch for the merge. Mateo will try and run the car wide if he can get to the apex in time. Hansen up the inside of Mateo. Door to door. Pops the curb on the right and then on the left. Mateo runs deep. Hansen takes a big cut on the left and a big cut on the right. Now he's in Mateo's door. Mateo's surely getting the advantage into the left and the right. Timmy won't give up yet. There's a long right-hander to go. But I think Lucas Mateo there, closing down on those final laps, is going to get the job done. Pops the curb again on the left through that narrow section of Armco. threads the needle. Lucas Montalegre beats the World Rallycross champion Timmy Hansen, who 2 wheels over the line. Bennett with a slight flip on the arm cut. He comes through to take P3. And Antonio Felix da Costa in the head, been doing really well here. This is his debut in the World Rallycross Championship Esports Series. And Antonio Felix da Costa coming around to take the flag now. Great stuff. Very, very great to have him along. One for the local crowd. Brilliant. Felix da Costa crosses the line. Antonio Felix da Costa crosses the line in 4th place. So a win for Montalegre, 2:24.9, which, Neil, we think would be quicker, don't we, than what we've had so far. We thought Armstrong was fastest, didn't we?
Yeah, that's what on my notes. It was 2:26 in race 2 and 2:23 in race 1. So it's there or thereabouts. But what was fascinating there is Timmy Hansen coming out of the Joker had to concede by the rules to Montalegre, but maybe he didn't have a spotter telling him that there would be a car alongside as he rejoined. So luckily they both came through it cleanly.
Yeah, I don't think any they're going to be pretty optimistic, I reckon, on the Joker Lap merge, considering there are no big bills to pay. Now, we're not saying they won't get a penalty for it, but I don't mind a bit of optimism on the merge. It's fine. So on pole for this one, Timo Scheider. Fail race is next to Timo. That's Alex Day from here in the UK, famous YouTuber who's taking part again this time. Rob Kasper-Chuska in the middle of the grid, Matvey Farashkin and Henrik Krogstad. So Henrik Krogstad drives for the yellow squad, and he's actually in that yellow Peugeot on the outside. Fail Race has chosen to stick with Robin Larsson's Audi. You're behind Bachuska here. Rokas Bachuska's been putting in a bunch of laps as well. And what can Bachuska do off the start? Scheider to the far right of your picture, I know, has been practicing too. Ready to race light comes on. Had a jump, so I think there was a jump start there, Neil, and the others didn't respond to it in time. To me, the green light hadn't come on. What do you think? Down towards turn 1 into the Joke Lap with Rokas Bachuska coming in late and coming in hot. Rokas Bachuska came in very hot there. Henrik Krogstad comes out the Joker in the lead of the three that have gone with Braskin after Bachuska's slight misjudgment. At the minute, it's Fail Race leading Timo Scheider. Scheider right up behind him.
Now, what's interesting about this is you've got 2 drivers, Farashkin and Bachuska, who weren't in round 1 of the Invitationals. Farashkin from a background in autocross, and Bachuska, who just surprised everyone by being incredibly quick, fresh out of the blocks last season. Fail Race leading this one, and what's interesting about that is that he, if you watch his YouTube content from the last round, he's driving with a controller. He's not using a wheel and pedals. So he's doing extremely well considering he hasn't got all the sim rig unless he's got one installed since the last round.
Scheider running his car down the wall there, so a few issues for Timo Scheider in this one. I noticed as well on the first lap he was showing plus 28 seconds despite the fact that he was in that leading 2. I think someone jumped the start. So if you jump the start in Dirt Rally 2.0, basically when that first person goes, the race starts and everybody else has to react to it. They then get a 30-second penalty. So maybe race control can let us know if there was a jump start, or if I've imagined that 2 people were just very good indeed off the lights, which could well be the case. On board now with Matvey Farashkin. Look at that, proper rig chucking him around. He's got the sequential lever and he's got the handbrake alongside. He's even got the harnesses on, Neil. That's what I want to see. I want to see a lid on as well. Go full spec, get lit.
It's impressive, isn't it? Look at that. That's a really good sim rig, which is clearly giving him all the inputs he needs. Sliding it around on this very muddy North Portugal, 40% dirt, 60% very slippery tarmac.
Very slippery, everything, I think. Farashkin leaked across there. I think it was a handbrake. I wonder if he's maybe using the paddle shift on the wheel. A lot of the drivers say the paddle shift is quicker, which I can understand. You're looking at Henrik Krogstad driving for Yellow Squad, who is out front at the minute with a 2-second lead over Matvey Farashkin. We know Krogstad was super quick last time out. So Henrik Krogstad through the right and then the left, knocks down that bollard, but it's pretty accurate what he's doing here. Very consistent, crosses the line. Krogstad to take it around the 2:27, 2:28 mark. Farashkin gets third, Bachuska fourth, Fail Race fifth, fourth. Timo Scheider coming through for 5th place. Scheider crosses the line there, and it is a 2:28.8 there for Henrik Krogstad. So 2:28.8. That is Q1 done and dusted. Yeah. None of the, we haven't got an esports specialist in this one, have we? We know Krogstad was quick last time, though, Neil, wasn't he, at Barcelona?
Yeah, definitely. It's very impressive. But that's definitely sort of the bottom quarter now of the result, that race, because it was not a particularly quick heat, and maybe a tentative start because they weren't sure if there had been a jump start, and of course some people who haven't been, they've just rejoining the invitational series on this event. So interesting the way that each of those 4 races was very very different levels of skill.
For me, Dal Olmo, the standout in that, Kilian Dal Olmo, the world champion in Dirt Rally 2.0 on the rallycross side. These tracks really hard, Neil. I know you've played it as much as I have. This was one where, so they were like, oh, can you set us a lap time on Portugal? I was like, oh yeah, great. So I think I spent about 4 hours trying to set even half a decent lap, which of course then Kevin Abrin came along and made look rubbish immediately, which is fine. But it's for me, this one is really difficult, particularly for me is the Armco section onto the start-finish straight, because it affects both laps. You know, it's the lap you're coming off and the lap you're going on to. You really, and threading the needle is bang on the money there, isn't it?
Oh, that last, I mean, it's reminiscent a little bit of last corner Lyden, last corner South Africa, that kind of left-right kink chicane, which is so hard to get right. But in Montalegre, it's like the barriers are so close on either side that when you come at the wrong angle, you can't even see the corner. It's just like a closed barrier. Then it opens up and you go for that gap. But I'm, as everyone knows who's ever seen me racing on these, you know, if I can get within 5 seconds a lap of these guys, then I'm happy. If I can string 3 corners together fully sideways and you know clip my apexes, then I'm going to put that on YouTube because I'm happy with it.
Basically, for Neil, if there were no taxis to the apex at any point during the run, then it's happy days, is it, mate? Is that about it?
But I hold my hands up. You know, I love the feeling. I love playing it, but I am no good.
So, well, at least you're honest, mate. I'm not a huge amount better. I'm certainly not good enough to be in with these guys. So, look, a great first run. I say, if you're having a catch up and you've not been with us, we've got 8 new drivers this time around. So, Mika Salo, XF1 driver, Shane Van Gisbergen, New Zealander, who has been Australian V8 champion, Felix Antonio Felix da Costa from Formula E. Brilliant to have him racing with us. Yeah, exactly. Matt Vejfarashkin, Rokas Batuska, Conor Martel, Rainis Nitish, all rallycross regulars who you should be familiar with from real life. And then Bilko, who unfortunately didn't make the start in that one. So come on, Bilko. We're hoping to see you represent Monster Energy and help us all crush quarantine in Q2, which will be coming up. We've got some replays for you, I think, from Q1 coming up in just a few moments. And we're going to leave you to enjoy these for a minute.
I was enjoying the music then. I was getting down.
We're both like.
Anyway, so I was out the other day.
Quickly looking at our notes. Brilliant, Neil. You've got a new backdrop. That's very nice. I like that. When did you iron it?
I don't know. I ironed it at midday.
Right. Okay. Here we go. We'll explain it.
Half down.
We'll explain
on
it
a
in a
good
minute.
day, it's
Right,
black. On a bad day, it's white.
Okay, it's a bad day today for Neil. It won't be. It'll be a great day. Right, let's take a look at the standings from Q1. Q1 is done. We can find out who took it. I've got a sneaky suspicion. Yeah, I knew it was Killian Dal Olmo. P2, look, Lucas Matasia. So it's esports in 1 and 2. John Armstrong is our biggest crossover man, in my opinion. So he works for Codemasters, which is almost cheating. But we'll let him off this time. He's won rallies in real life in World Rally Cars, and he's currently competing in the Junior World Rally Championship. So John up there in P3. Timmy Hansen, the best of the World Rally Cross regulars. Quinton Dal Olmo in 5th. Shane Van Gisbergen, brilliant debut for the New Zealander from Aussie V8 in P6. Henrik Krogstad for Yellow Squad gets 7th. Matthias Adielson, the winner last time out, is in 8th. Let's see who's on the cusp. Can we go down any further? We can. Kevin Hansen and Matt Vapour-Ashkin at the minute are just inside. Down the right-hand side, then Bachuska, Bennett, Fail Race, Nitis, Timo Scheider, Antonio Felix da Costa. Look at the points on the right. There's 6 points from 10th to 16th, and there are another 4 drivers, remember, below 16th. So literally all to play for. We've only had 1 qualifying session done. We've got 3 to go.
And don't forget the top 10 make it through. So unlike World Rallycross, so top 10 go through to the semi-finals. The 2 semi-finals are 5 cars each, and then the final is 5 cars. So it's a kind of 5, and I think last time I described it as the Thanos process. Half make it and half don't. So if we stick with that, then that's a best way to describe what happens after qualifying 4.
Easy to remember, at least. Yes, a 10 in and 10 out. We can have a chat with Timmy Hansen. So let's see if we can find the World Rallycross champion. We're going to slide him into a box there in the middle. There he is, Timmy Hansen. Timmy, good to see you. How are we getting on?
Great. I think the first race was good. Obviously lost out to Luca there, but yeah, I mean he's a very good driver in this game, so I should be happy about that. I didn't nail my lap 3, so I would like to be a bit faster, but the race overall went well. It's so easy in these games to make a mistake. It's way easier to make a mistake here than it is in real life. So I'm gonna try to keep my head cool and do my best.
Do you think you should have joked earlier? I mean, have you got someone spotting for you? Because for me, once Lucas made a pass on lap 1, and obviously being one of the esports guys, we knew he'd be quick. Now, in real life, if you got the whole shot, you definitely would joker on the last lap as a general rule, wouldn't you? But with Lucas chasing you down, have you got your mum or your dad there going, you should have joked, Timmy, you know?
No, but I definitely miss my spotter. So Kevin just is right here. Kevin sent me a joker on the last lap, so I shouldn't forget it. But on my screen, really wide, and the standings are way over to the right. So it's like I'm losing too much information from the track if I have to glance over to the right and see the gaps and everything. And then you have to think a bit: are they catching? Are they not? So I made a decision there, like, okay, I'm just gonna race my own race, and if I'm fast, I'm fast. If I'm not, I'm not. But at least I had a clean race, and really, that's my goal. If I don't crash, I'm gonna be happy.
I think your lap 3 was the crucial one, though, wasn't it? Because after you taken the decision not to joker, you dropped maybe 2 tenths, and that put you back. Generally, how are you coping not being able to defend your actual World Rallycross title this year? Give us a sense of your mindset not being able to race.
Yeah, it's like it is, you know. Of course, I would like to be actually in Portugal right now than being in my sim, but you know, being racing here, I got the adrenaline pumping, and it's better than nothing. But definitely, I miss the real racing, and I'm hoping we can get it back started soon. Something I love, and that's what I love to do. That's my thing, you know, being in a race car and feeling that noise and that adrenaline. So that's what I want to do. But it is as it is, and I'm just using it as good as I can to train a lot. I'm training way more. I'm really fit now because I haven't been traveling, haven't been interrupting my training schedule, and I'm in the sim, and you know, I'm doing the best of the situation.
Very good. Well done, Timmy. So we'll see you in Quali 2, which I believe is about to begin. So you better get ready for your race.
Cool.
Right, then we are good to go with Q2, and I can bring you an update on Bilko. So he sent me a message, got a steering wheel malfunction. He's trying really hard to get it back online. Blake only got his sim delivered on Friday. in time for the IRX race, and I had to get everything ready very quickly indeed. So unfortunately, he's got a malfunction with the steering wheel. We're hoping the Monster Energy athlete will be back on the grid. So it's Bilko next to him, Rainis Nitish. Then you've got Connor Martel in the middle of the grid, Quinton Dall'Olmo and Kevin Hansen. Looking at it, I think Bilko is missing, because I think we're behind Nitish. Here we are. So this is Rainis Nitish, you're behind with Connor Martel to his left, ready to race. Light goes out. Here we go. Great start, Rainis Nitish. Connor Martel goes backwards. Quinton Dall'Olmo looking to go straight to the Joker, surely accelerating hard down to the bottom of the straight. He goes straight into the Joker lap, and with him has gone Kevin Hansen. Kevin Hansen trying to look up the inside of Quinton Dall'Olmo, can't quite find a way through, losing a bit of time on the exit there. Rainis Nitish has got the whole shot on the standard lap. Connor Martel gone backwards again. I wonder if Connor's having more issues. But we can't see. Where is Rainis? Super close between these two. 2 seconds out in front. So Rainis Nitish 2 seconds out in front. Neil, I think he's going to have to stay out there and try and build a gap, even if he feels he can't.
Yeah, it's got to be plan A, hasn't it? Just try and do 3 clean laps and then Joker on the last lap. But what was interesting about the start, when there's one fewer car on the grid and Connor had a bad start, then he gives the 3 that are competing much more options as to whether they go Joker or not Joker. So it wasn't as clear cut as it normally is, because there's a little bit more freedom of choice for those 3 front runners. But yes, Rainis has really got to nail these apexes on what is his first ever sim racing esports event.
I'll be honest, I really honestly prefer a track that doesn't have a first corner Joker. I know it's interesting from the point of view of splitting the tactics immediately, but I just like a race on the first lap. You know, I want to see people go door to door through that first lap, and it plays out a little bit later. But you know, we've got Neil, we've got Hell, we've got Hollius, we've got lots of places with early Jokers, and it's great, isn't it, to have the variation of tracks in the World Rallycross Championship. It'd be a bit boring if they're all the same.
Of course, yeah. And on that subject, Rainis did Jokers. He's Joker on lap 3, which has put him at the back of this train. He was obviously aware that he was being caught and was probably going to have to race Kevin and Quentin on track. So he's taken the sensible decision and put himself at the back and in 3rd place to follow the leaders.
Yeah, and that's not a bad decision when Rainis, don't forget, doesn't have anywhere nearly as much experience of this as the 2 drivers in front of him. Quentin and Kevin are both pros at this. They both did the last event. They practiced together. They've been practicing with the Dall'Olmo brothers and the Hansen brothers, the very best from esports and the very best from the World Rallycross Championship as well. And Rainis will do well to hang on to the back of Kevin Hansen. Quinton Dall'Olmo looks to me to have checked out here. Is he going to try and beat his brother's time from Q1? I reckon he is. Still wet and slippery over the line. Perfect over that final curve, on board with Kevin Hansen now, not quite so quick through the last corner. He comes out, and Rainis Nitish was right behind him as well. Connor Martel we're with now, and again, Connor's had problems, so it's a shame for Connor Martel, the US driver. I say Connor, the hammer, Martel, absolutely brilliant driver, very handy indeed in an RX2 machine. Martel trying to make...
He needs to take a hammer to his router.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Okay, so Martel with another DNF. That's a shame for him. Quinton Dall'Olmo with a 2:22.6. So that is 2:22.6. Wow. That is very quick indeed. And I think that's going to be tricky for anyone to match during the rest of this session. So a brilliant drive by him. Got it done down at turn 1, basically, and just hung on out there. They jokered on the first lap, him and Kevin. Is that the tactic? Is that what needs to be done to get the win? Rokas Pachuska here on pole. Next to him, Mika Sala. Mika Sala, by the way, ex-F1 driver. He Twitch streams Dirt Rally 2.0 for fun. That's how much he loves the game. So good on you, Mika. Then we've got Ollie Bennett in the middle, Henrik Krogstad and Shane Van Gisbergen on the outside. So Van Gisbergen really impressed me in that first race. He got a great start, which to me means he knows the intricacies of the game. He's probably starting in 2nd or 3rd gear. The guys are all, I believe, on standard setups. That's what we ran in Barcelona last time out. And that just makes sure that it stays tight between the drivers. Just checking through my messages. Oh dear. So Bilko says it's a brand new wheel and he's got more issues with it he'd have with a real rallycross car. And he said he will do an interview. He'll do an interview with us later. So we might struggle to get Bilko on board, but we will have a chat with Bilko. I think we were going to have a chat with him after Q3. So we'll try and have a catch up with Blake Williams. Bilko, stick around, mate. I'm sorry, we're making you stay up late. Maybe you can have a couple of Monster Energies to keep the energy levels up. Right, here we go. Q2 race 2. You're behind Ollie Bennett. To his right is Mika Salo. To his left is Henrik Krogstad. Bennett got a great start last time out. Here we go. Watch for Shane van Gisbergen. He's on the far outside on the left, looking for the green. It's a brilliant start on the inside from Bachuska. Bachuska with an absolutely massive hole shot down towards turn 1. No one's anywhere near him. Did he guess the lights? Brings it in towards the apex. Fantastic start by Bachuska. Bennett's gone with him, and Krogstad too. Van Gisbergen and Mika Salo have both gone into the Joker lap on lap 1.
So the man that I nicknamed Rockass the Rocket, Bachuska, living up to his name, because he was off the start line like a rocket, leading everyone to just get covered on their windscreen with the spray of his mud. Of course, I don't necessarily have that because it gets cleaned off.
Krogstad managed to get through there on that one, so Krogstad snuck past Bennett on the first lap. Bennett looking a little bit wild. Shane van Gisbergen in Kevin Hansen's car, of course. So Van Gisbergen on a big push. Van Gisbergen versus Bachuska. Basically, that's what this is about. Van Gisbergen, though, could do with Bennett getting out of the way now, Neil, because to me, Shane Van Gisbergen looks quicker than Ollie Bennett at this particular moment. Carrying speed into the gravel section again.
Yeah, Van Gis was really making the sort of use of the big curves like he's been in rallycross for years. He was incredibly confident. He's well all over the back of Ollie Bennett.
Shane Van Gisbergen right behind Ollie Bennett. He really needs to get past now because Bennett is definitely not going quite as quickly as Van Gisbergen is. Krogstad's gone standard lap. Mika Salo, the only other driver to a Joker. And in goes Bennett. That's good for Van Gisbergen. So Shane Van Gisbergen being released by Ollie Bennett now. And the gap, though, is 2.6 to Bachuska. So Bachuska could hold on to this one. You're on board with Bennett looking back at the rain. There's the spotter's tower. Look exactly where it is in real life. And the grandstands too. The camera angles here are fantastic. They're so close to the track. Absolutely brilliant. The game does look beautiful. Thanks to Codemasters, Cooper Tires, Motorsport Games and Gamebite, Monster Energy Gaming as well on board this weekend. Bennett through the chicane. What's the gap between Bachuska and Henrik Krogstad? Van Gisbergen. I want to see the battle at the front. Salo's dropping back.
It's half a second.
Yeah, Bachuska's out in front from the looks of things. They've all Joker. Bachuska has held on, look. So Bachuska from Shane Van Gisbergen. Mika Salo at the back of the pack here. So Salo's had a problem because he's 15 seconds off. Not got a puncture from the look of the car, Neil. Oh, big moment for Salo. Massive tank but just about holds on, gets deep. There's the battle we're looking for. Bachuska super close behind him. Shane Van Gisbergen hanging onto the line. Bachuska takes it though from Van Gisbergen. Henrik Krogstad crosses the line, super close behind in third. Bennett comes across in fourth, and now we're with Mika Salo. Oh, what a shame. Missed the battle there between Van Gisbergen and Bachuska. But Neil, it looks like it was really close between them.
Yeah, definitely. And it all came down to the racing really started when the Jokers matched up on that last lap. But 2:26.7 is a good 4 seconds slower than the previous race.
But to be fair to Shane Van Gisbergen, epic drive from the New Zealander on his debut in our Esports Championship. I'm very, very impressed with his pace. Yeah. Bachuska and Krogstad. We know Krogstad was quick from last time out. So actually Krogstad there's been beaten by two guys making their debut this weekend in Van Gisbergen and Bachuska. So brilliant job by them. And of course, they have been beaten by Quinton Del Olmo, who was in the final of the World Championships of Esports with Dirt Rally 2.0. So it's quite a target. I think the fairest thing we can do is compare their times to the real-life drivers, some of whom are in this next one. Matthias Adielson on the pole. Next to him, Timo Scheider. Matvey Frashkin in the middle. Then Kilian Del Olmo and fail race Alex Day on the outside. So Adielson, the winner last time. Frashkin on his debut. We've just got a couple of drivers waiting to get into the pre-grid. Kilian Del Olmo, though, with that brilliant drive. Kilian Neal was the winner of Q1, of course, and I'm expecting big things from him here. He won't be, he'll know what's going on because I'm assuming his brother is in a room about 6 meters from him.
Yeah, and, I think despite how much fun it was round one, I think they will both be disappointed that they didn't win. They must have come to that pretty confident that they put in so many hundreds of hours of practice on Catalonia, but also knowing the physics of the game and being much more in tune with the game, that they will have come away going, oh, what do we have to do to be better? So they will have spent the last 3 weeks improving, really getting to grips with Montalegre. So you can see they are very hungry to sort of put esports ahead of real sports here. And Mika Salo, I was ashamed to not see him do so well in that second race. the Flying Finn, an absolute legend. And it's interesting for him because he does, as you said, play a lot of Dirt Rally 2.0. He's clearly realized that maybe his level, unless he's had problems, isn't quite up there with the people that he's competing against today.
I'm just glad he's taking part. We've got a few drivers who are taking part, and they're, like Timo said to us last time, sent us a lovely message towards the end of the broadcast saying how much he'd enjoyed it, but that he was rubbish and he needed to get permission from his wife to do a bit more practice, which is great. So we are going to see some of our drivers, what they're doing, and they're getting themselves ready. And I'm going to get a couple of shout outs ready as well. So Mika Salo, top right there, is tapping away on his computer. Bachuska has gone for a break, top left. Rainis Nitish is on Instagram. Then we got so's Ollie Bennett. John Armstrong is looking fully focused. Matt Vayfarashkin, I think, is trying to have a rest after his sim rig has rattled him to death. Matthias Adrielsen in the middle is drying his hands on his jeans, getting ready for the next run. Timmy Hansen looking at his phone as well. I'm looking at my phone. I'm going to give a shout out. So we've got a shout out to Sebastian Barden. So Sebastian Barden is 9 years old. His dad tweeted me this week. Sebastian, bless him, has made a chart counting down the number of days until he hopes we can go racing again. He's got 73 on it, and he's going to be crossing them off one by one until he can go to a racetrack and watch a bit of rallycross. So, Sebastian Barden, hello, mate. We'll get you racing soon, we promise, all right? But that's what we're aiming to do for everyone. So, lovely to give a shout to him. If you want a shout out, give us a shout on Twitter, and we'll do our best to fill in some of those for you. I can see we've got Stretch on here as well. So Stretch is one of the engineers from World RX. He says he misses the madness. We miss you too, Stretch, and we're missing the madness as well. We've got somebody else who says that Montalegre, they feel, doesn't suit the racing drivers. This is Adam Walker saying he doesn't feel it suits the racing drivers, the rally drivers. He thinks are better on a track like this. I think that was certainly true. But then, you look at the likes of Kristoffersen, he was very good at it. Certainly, if you haven't done any gravel driving, I think that's the key, Neil, is we've seen that the Sebastian Loeb, Johan Kristoffersen accuracy way works, but you've still got to be able to pedal the car on the loose. And that's the key for me in a racing driver switching to rally or rallycross. It's not really necessarily about driving the car on the tar. It's the loose stuff. If you've never done loose, it's so different.
It's a very good point there from Adam Walker, and all of your questions and comments are very welcome across all our different platforms. But I'd agree with you, Coley, that you can apply all of the same things, because don't forget, racing drivers. Sebastian Loeb was also very good on track, so you can transfer the skills. But when it's dirty and slippery like this, yes, rallying experiences does just give you the edge, I would say.
Right, on to, what are we on? Race 3 we are on. So Matthias Adrielsen is on the pole. Timo Scheider next to him. Ollie Eriksson, Kilian Del Olmo, you're behind, and Fail Race is to your left. So Kilian Del Olmo, the winner of Q1 with an absolutely brilliant start, but again, you can see he didn't change gear for a long time. Del Olmo is starting at least second. Adrielsen at the back of the pack. Scheider deep into the joke lap, runs the car just a little bit too deep. He's passed by two of the Peugeots. Fail Racing to the side of Scheider. Scheider going to drop down to P5. Kilian Del Olmo and Matt Vayfarashkin were in that battle at the front. So who came out in front? Looks like Farashkin might be in front of Del Olmo. He is. So Matt Vayfarashkin has got the jump on the world champion from Dirt Rally 2.0. Kilian Del Olmo looking up the inside. Del Olmo with a brilliant pass. Kilian Del Olmo just engineers a gap. Somehow finds his way through. Adrielsen now up front. Neil, if I were Adrielsen and I knew it was Kilian behind, I'd joker now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This is the one exception, is when you know someone who will be eating into you every lap by up to half a second, you need to get yourself squarely in front of him, elbows out, and just try and obscure the physics-defying moves that someone like Kilian can pull, like we just saw him do. I mean, that was insane, knowing every inch of the track and the leaning physics of these cars in Dirt Rally 2.0. He knows it, and he uses it.
Yeah, Timmy and Kevin were saying that even if they had Kilian off at turn 1, he was still beating them when they were practicing with him. He really is very, very good indeed. I think the esports guys are going to be a huge threat this time out, but Adrielsen beat them last time, and Adrielsen is another guy who really does cross over. 3.5. He's only lost 0.3 of a second on that lap, so Matthias Adrielsen looking to hold on here. He lost 0.3, but 3.8 is down to 3.5. Alex Day, Fail Race, nearly rolling the car. That's what he's famous for. He hasn't done it yet. Come on, you're letting us down, Alex. We want to see rolling. And I know some of these guys are on Twitch streaming as well, so you can feel free to watch that alongside our stream here. Matthias Adrielsen, perfect over the start-finish line. 3.1, so Del Olmo's closed it down a tiny bit into the joker lap now on the bar, super sideways, super concentrated. going to come in close to those bollards on the inside. Just manages to come out in front. Adielson beats Dal Olmo to the merge. Great drive by Adielson here.
So that the beautiful thing there is it was about 0.3 of a second per lap that Killian was catching him by. He knew that if he had nailed it and joked on the last lap, he should
he's made a mistake.
Come out in front.
Dal Olmo's up alongside him. Dal Olmo almost manages to get through. Not quite though. Adielson just about holds on door to door. Crosses the line. Adielson from Dal Olmo. Matvey Barashkin. Great drive hit. Barashkin's on top of that Peugeot. Over the start-finish line, Fail Race comes through in fourth and Scheider in fifth, 2:24.6. So that falls smack in the middle of the performance from the first race. That incredible performance by Quinten Dal Olmo, 2:22.6. Then we had a 2:26.7 for Shane Van Gisbergen. Adielson does a 2:24.6. So brilliant performance by Matthias Adielson to hold on from Killian Dal Olmo there.
Whew, wow, see what it meant to him with punching the air.
Yeah, brilliant performance. Fantastic. So on to the last race of Q2. John Armstrong on the inside. Antonio Felix da Costa, Nicky Thiem, Lucas Matejka, and Timmy Hansen in this one. I'm going to try and get things done slightly more quickly for you today. We're aware we took up a lot of your Sunday last time. I have to say the weather's not quite so nice here in the UK. I was missing out on a sunny afternoon last time. This time it's a bit cloudy. So, you know, why not? We still need to stay home. We still need to protect the local health services. So we're glad to have you guys with us.
Hashtag race at home.
Yes, indeed. Race at home. Bottom right of your screen. You're going to see that across all the different FIA World Championships. Aren't we lucky to be able to carry on doing some sort of motorsport? I know it's not the same thing as being there. I know it's not the same as anti-lag rumbling through your chest, but I hope you're enjoying it. Send us some messages on social media. We'll do some shout-outs. Let us know who do you think's going to win? Where are you watching from? Who do you wish was racing? Nicky Thiem with not such a great start. Lucas Matejka beats him on the right-hand side. Timmy Hansen's got the inside line down to turn one. Going to be him versus Matejka. They're going to go Joker. They're not. Hansen backs the pack up, gets a little nudge from behind, runs the car a little bit deep. So contact with Timmy Hansen. Nicky Thiem alongside Matejka. Now Matejka at the inside line. Timmy Hansen looking to pick up the pieces. Nicky Thiem runs the car sideways. Matejka is all over the back of him. Timmy Hansen has another bit of contact. Timmy's lost out big time in this. Nicky Thiem now sideways again. Whereabouts is Matejka? Matejka's gone up his inside. Lucas Matejka has taken the lead. Nicky Thiem drops back behind Hansen and John Armstrong's behind him. He's already taken his Joker. So absolute disaster, certainly for the lead three here. Matejka might get away with it. Oh, Nicky Thiem gets away with it. On two wheels and in the wall. John Armstrong has to look up the inside here. Armstrong's going to make it. Thiem goes Joker. Neil, wow, what a first lap.
Oh, incredible. We spent a lot of time watching Nicky Thiem, the Great Dane there, and he must have just taken a breath of relief when he actually took the Joker, because suddenly he was out of the action. He wasn't having anyone in front of him or behind him. Just a chance to focus on his own laps for once.
Matejka's got to try and get the hammer down now and see whether or not he can gap the rest of the pack. Having been held up in that little fight with Timmy Hansen and Nicky Thiem on the first lap. Timmy's just 2.1 behind him. John Armstrong 2.9 off. I reckon Matejka can do this, Neil, but it's going to be really close between them.
Yeah, I wonder. It's going to be extremely close. That front two should slot in somewhere now after John Armstrong.
2.7 is going to be really close for Matejka here. What can he do? Can he edge that gap out just a little bit? 2.8, so Matejka takes another tenth of a second off. John Armstrong right behind Timmy Hansen. Hansen's definitely a goner. There's only 0.9 of a second between him and John Armstrong. So Timmy's going to lose out when he goes Joker. Watch now for the merge. Into the Joker lap goes Lucas Matejka. Looking for his merge on the inside versus John Armstrong. Armstrong sideways for Matejka as he slots in just in front. That is as close to real life as you get. We've seen some merges like that in the FIA World Rallycross Championship. Lucas Matejka, after that fight on the first lap, hammered in some mega quick laps to just take the lead from John Armstrong. Armstrong will look for a way through here, but he's not going to be able to find it. Matejka straight lines that last corner, knocks the bollards out of the way, sideways in, sideways out, sideways to victory for Matejka. Armstrong second, Timmy Hansen third, Antonio Felix da Costa and Nicky Thiem having a fight. Thiem with a big lunge into the wall. Oh, Nicky Thiem, that's 100% a dodgy move there from Nicky Thiem. So Nicky Thiem looks, and he's been given a 10-second penalty. Was that for that move? That was very quick if it was.
I think he might be getting another one.
Yeah, I was going to say that might be track limits, Neil. Did you have a word with him in that one?
Yeah, I did, definitely. And then I'll have another word afterwards because he just took out Antonio Felix da Costa, and he's our home favourite, Portuguese driver.
You are under investigation for track limits and also for being a missile in the last corner, by the way. That was there's borderline and there's borderline. That's definitely borderline. That was great. Q2 was fun. I enjoyed that. I did enjoy that.
2 wins out of 2 for Lucas Montalegre.
Yeah, good drives from him. I think that last one, I didn't see the time of Montalegre, but I don't think it was as quick as Quintan Del Olmo. So it's going to be the Del Olmos who've taken both sessions, I think, so far. I think it'll be the first one to Kilian and the second one to Quintan. So that's those two. We're having a quick look now at what do we got here? Here we go. Right. So you got a message a minute ago. You heard from Stretch, who did work in the World Rallycross Championship, but is also so he works. So he's the car controller for Nicky Team's car, the Aston Martin in WEC. So he said, I'm going to get on the radio and have a word with him. So Stretch is sending him some abuse. Stretch. So Stretch is basically looks after Nicky Team's Aston. How good is that? We're so lucky, like the access that we have to the engineers and the drivers. And I promise you, there isn't another world championship with the access that we've got. And myself and Neil, Dan Rook as well, we are ever grateful for the access that the drivers and the teams give us, because we kind of romp in everywhere and go, what's going on? You know, even when things aren't going very well. And Neil, the teams are brilliant to us, aren't they? And we're grateful for it.
Definitely. It's the most open and fun paddock of all the motorsports I've ever worked in. And that's interesting as well, because in that race, Da Costa currently leading the Formula E Championship. And I think Nicky Team's car is currently leading the GT side of the World Endurance Championship. So 2 FIA Championship leaders taking each other out up in the virtual mountains of Portugal on World Rallycross Esports Invitational. It's happening right now, and you guys are watching it. Real pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Now, I'm just having a very quick look here. So let me see what else we've got coming in. We're waiting for the rest of the... okay, here we go. This was the one I was looking for. So this is a guy called Mark Cridland. Mark went down for surgery this morning at 8 a.m. at King's College in London for a very serious surgery. And he messaged me last night saying he was hoping to be back at 2 o'clock to watch. And his message say he is. And I'm pretty chuffed about that. It's brilliant. Fantastic. Fantastic. Great stuff. So he's sitting in hospital, having come out of surgery this morning, waiting to watch Rallycross. Get well soon, mate, from everybody at the World Rallycross Championship.
Yes. Yeah.
Great. Right, let's see the results for Q2. I hope we've got those up. Have we got some results coming in ready? Have we got an overall table? See which of the Del Olmos is winning. Kilian Del Olmo at the top of the table, thanks to a better result in Q2. Quintan Del Olmo in second place, Lucas Montalegre in third. Oh dear. So the esports guys, Neil, have definitely got the best of them here. Matthias Adielson has moved up into P4. John Armstrong in fifth place. Timmy Hansen in sixth. So we've got the best of our World Rallycross drivers down in sixth place. Shane van Gisbergen, get in. V8 Supercar champion New Zealander is right up behind Timmy Hansen. Kevin Hansen's in there too. Henrik Krogstad and Rokas Bachuska are the top 10. Then it's Matvey Farashkin and Rainis Nitishlook. So look at the points down the right. That gives you an idea of who's in with a shout and who isn't. So for me, probably fail race and upwards could be nicking a spot. Maybe Timo Scheider, Antonio Felix da Costa. Maybe he is going to need he's going to need a couple of stellar results. So, okay, I think we're not going to have an interview after this session, and I think we're going to crack straight on, are we? Is that what I'm hearing from Race Control?
I think that makes sense. Let's crack on with qualifying 3.
Great stuff. Right, Q3, race 1. On the inside, Kevin Hansen. Then we've got next to him, Conor Martel. So these two guys both coming up from RX2. Kevin Hansen from RX2 in the World Championship. Conor Martel has done some world events as well. Of course, he won ARX2. So those guys very familiar with door-to-door racing. Rokas Bachuska in the middle of the grid here for GCK. Matthias Adielson, the winner last time. Timo Scheider needs a good result here to keep his hopes alive and making it through to the semi-finals. But the two RX2 guys on the inside, that'll be interesting. I say, coming from Spec Machinery, they know what it's like to be on equal footing. And that's pretty much what they're on here in the game. Everybody on standard settings. There's not a lot between the cars. I'm sure if you ask Codemasters, they'd be able to let you know if any of them have got any kind of an advantage at all. I've tried all of them, and there's not enough of an advantage to make the difference for me. Put it that way. Right,
let's just hope that Conor Martel's connection is good, because he's had to difficult races, not entirely his
Hammer
fault.
time. Hammer time for Martel's, what was it? Martel's router, wasn't it, Neil? That's what Neil Cole says. If your router's not working, go and get the #1 hammer.
No.
Yes, he does. That's definitely a recommendation. Well, okay, maybe not. Timo Scheider. Come on, Timo. It's Timo time on the outside of the grid. He's next to Adielson. Timo looking to try and get a decent result here, not get mugged at turn 1. Green light. It's a good start by Timo Scheider. And Matthias Adielson dragging it out down towards turn 1. Adielson putting the squeeze on Scheider. Out towards the outside. Going to have to go Joker. Adielson's gone deep. Scheider going to go right behind him on the inside. Contact there. They run wide. That's Kevin Hansen and it's Bachuska. So Conor Martel has dropped to the back again. Bachuska, several steering inputs on that last tarmac section. Goes into the dirt. Scheider past Adielson. Go on, Timo. So Timo Scheider, who said he wasn't good enough last time, he was going to practice like hell because he didn't want to be as bad as he was. He's in the wall. Come on, Timo. Stick it to Adielson. Oh, there's bollards flying everywhere. Scheider gets back past Adielson again. Adielson looks to find a way through. Scheider's in the wall for the second time. Just avoids hitting it. Oh, poor old Timo. You've got to love a bit of Timo time. Come on, Scheider. Get in there. Oh.
So that's interesting. This at the moment is 2 races, 2 against 2 because of the Joker strategy. Joker split them on the first lap. And of course, things to flag up. This is the race 1 of qualifying 3, and it's clear qualifying 3 is a dry race. So we have probably going to see the times plummeting because they're not having to negotiate the slippery tarmac and the mud.
Now, one thing that does change, though, Neil, is the visibility, and that is quite clear, isn't it, how much more difficult it is to spot your apexes. And when you're looking to steal as much as you can from the game, if you run the car just a little bit too deep, you will get an automatic penalty if you take just a bit too much curve. So, great stuff on board with Bachuska. 0.5 of a second off the back of Kevin Hansen. How far back is Matthias Adielson? 4.3. So, Adielson in that fight with Scheider has maybe lost too much time here. Neil, if I were these drivers, I would definitely at least split the strategy. One of them can go on 3 and one. No, it's 4 coming up. They're on 3 now, so they're both going to have to go on lap 4. Here we go. On board with Kevin Hansen. Bachuska's lost time in that section.
But they should be safe. Kevin Hansen and Ruckus Bachuska should be safe. Come out clean, streets ahead of Matthias Adielson and Timo Scheider, who put it in the gravel and has been on a recovery drive ever since.
Oh, super close between Adielson and Bachuska. Bachuska just nicks it. Adielson looking to try and find a way through. Going to switch to the inside line. He can get him up the inside if he goes deep. Adielson, though, is clean. Nicely done. Monsters the curve on the inside and unfortunately loses a bit of time. He's made a big cut there. Kevin Hansen's going to take it. Bachuska comes across the line. No, Adielson is it. Okay, what's happened there? The timing screen at the top right has changed its mind. I think Kevin Hansen was in there, unless Kevin's been given an in-game penalty. So Kevin Hansen crossed the line first, Neil, I thought, but has dropped to 4th. So potentially has made too many cuts. We'll see. You're looking at Martel. Go on, Conor. Get the hammer down. Conor Martel not had it his way this time. He wanted to be in Barcelona. We didn't have space for him. We're really pleased to have a US driver on board again this time. Martel misses out. It's Bachuska, and it was a penalty. 20 seconds. What, Neil? What have you got to do for 20 seconds, mate? That's... is that one of yours, or is that
race control on the way?
Yeah. So Hansen with a 20-second penalty. Timo Scheider gets a 5-second penalty, and it's Bachuska who wins with a 2:23.1. So 2:23.1 for Bachuska. Making a note of that, and I'm also thinking that actually I'm pretty sure Dallomo did a 2:22 in the wet last time. So Bachuska's showing on this grid, but he's definitely not in this one. I'm showing Shane Van Gisbergen on pole for this, and Shane's on the opposite side of the grid. So we've got a slight issue there with...
I think it's because of Belko missing.
No, I think that's a Q2 race 2 grid, looking top left of the screen. So we might just have a little malfunction. Right. That's fine. We'll get it fixed. And well, I'll tell you who's in the next one then. We've got Shane Van Gisbergen on pole. We've then got Matvey Farashkin, Kilian Dalolmo, who's on the TQ spot at the minute. Bilko was supposed to be in there in P4. There it is. That's the correct grid now. And Antonio Felix da Costa racing at home and still smiling. Yes, da Costa. So that's what we like to see. Here we go.
It was a nostalgic.
Down to the grid. Rumbling away. We'll look for the ready to race. There it is. Cars into gear. You're on board with Kilian Dalolmo, who's currently in the TQ spot. Brilliant start by Del Olmo. No wheel spin there. Managed to get ahead of Matvey Farashkin, who gives him a little tap on the run down to turn one. Shane Van Gisbergen on the inside. Oh, there's contact there. Everybody runs deep. Van Gisbergen, nice. Maybe a gone joker. Van Gisbergen lost out. Got the car sideways and has elected to go standard lap. But I think when you get run that deep, Neil, maybe you should have gone joker.
Yeah, if you're messing up a lap, then it's best to treat it as your joker lap, so sort of minimise the time lost.
So a bit of a mistake there. Well, if you got contact,
skill. You know, you learn that.
Oh, totally. You can have a plan, but you have to react to what happens in turn one, don't you? Van Gisbergen unlucky there. So Shane Van Gisbergen getting a bit of rallycross treatment on the run down the start, finish straight. Matvey Farashkin just in front. Van Gisbergen's late on the brakes. I said he could pass, and my goodness me, can't he? This time he loses out. But that's what we want to see. Kylian Del Olmo now behind Matvey Farashkin. So Del Olmo potentially going to get held up. Oh, contact again. Van Gisbergen looking to get past Del Olmo. Del Olmo leaves a gap. Van Gisbergen doesn't need asking twice, just stuck it straight up the inside. Couldn't get through. So Shane Van Gisbergen showing us all the skills from Aussie V8. Kylian Del Olmo's getting beaten up here big time. Van Gisbergen chucks it up the inside, flings it through that narrow gap at the Armco. The tailgate is flying open on Kylian Del Olmo's car, and Kylian Del Olmo's lost a bunch of time, and he loses the rear left. Del Olmo, puncture on the brakes at the end of the straight. You saw the tyre blow out, the Cooper tyre from that contact. And Van Gisbergen goes through the joker and comes out in front of him. Kylian Del Olmo with a puncture live on the brakes, 130 odd mile an hour at the end of the straight, somehow held on. Now Antonio Felix da Costa coming under pressure from Shane Van Gisbergen. I think Felix da Costa has jokered already. Farashkin up front hasn't. Van Gisbergen's been on fire in this one. Fierce moves. And can he get past? Looks to the outside. Get a look to the inside on the straight. Brilliant drive. Gonna have a look at the end of the straight now. Gonna be late on the brakes, early on the handbrake, sideways. Van Gisbergen makes another pass. Shane Van Gisbergen up the inside of Antonio Felix da Costa. Absolutely brilliant driving from the New Zealander. Still behind Farashkin. So Farashkin out front here. You wouldn't put it past him to make another move. Where's Del Olmo? Del Olmo's dropped right back, and he does indeed. Van Gisbergen. Oh, sideways in the wall. Contact on both sides. Farashkin coming through to take it. Matvey Farashkin takes the win. Antonio Felix da Costa, did he get third? Kylian Del Olmo with a puncture at the end. Neil, I'm sorry, mate. There was just so much going on. That was wild. That's one of the wildest races I've ever seen.
That was
incredible.
Really tough to pick the bones out of. I mean, the puncture was the crucial thing there, but the penalty to Antonio Felix da Costa has got 20 seconds there, which is a serious. I think that's a double penalty. A penalty to Matvey Farashkin as well. Van Gisbergen wins, but it was a slow qualifying heat because of so much infighting in there. And Kylian just he's like wild with his boot flying open, aero all over the place, and a complete destruction of tyre. Extraordinary.
I'll take that over a clean, fast race all day long. That's sorry, drivers, but the commentators and the fans at home, we don't mind when it all goes a little bit wrong because it makes it very exciting indeed. Fail race, Alex Day on the inside, Nicky Team next to him, then Quintan Del Olmo, who's currently in P2 in the standings, John Armstrong, who's right up there as well, and Mika Salo on the outside. So Del Olmo will be looking for better luck than his brother had. That could put his brother a little way down. Just to give you a heads up as well. So last time the grids for the semi-finals were random, and this time they are not. So your qualifying position will determine whether you're on the inside for the start or not. Interestingly, Del Olmo's both seem to be favouring at the minute going to the Joker on the first lap. Now, if they go to the Joker, they don't need the pole quite so much as if you want to go standard lap. But anything can happen at the start, as we've seen, particularly in that last race. Fail race pulls up to the grid on the inside. Didn't quite roll it last time. Can he manage it this time? He's famous for it, by the way. Go and have a look at his YouTube channel. Mika Salo on the outside. Come on, Mika. So Mika Salo, ex-Ferrari F1 driver. How lucky are we to have an entry like this? I really do think the guys have done a brilliant job getting in such fantastic drivers for you guys to watch at home. And as well, of course, as having the World Rallycross champion in this one, Mika Salo with a brilliant start, but he's been out-dragged on the run down towards the first corner. Into the Joker lap goes Quintan Del Olmo and John Armstrong. Mika Salo have all gone in there. Can't tell the difference between Del Olmo and Armstrong at that speed between the two colours, but I can tell you it's Del Olmo who's in front of Armstrong according to the timing. There he is. You can see the French flag on the back window. So Del Olmo and Armstrong have gone Joker straight away. Fail Race and Nicky Team are on the standard lap. Fail Race leading this one. This is a very good performance by Alex Day, nearly. I'm impressed with his pace this time round.
Yeah, definitely. I think we lost Nicky T and he went off that little tricky infield section. But back to Alex. Fail Race racing with a controller, and before Invitational Round 1 in Catalonia, he only realised there was an update to the car so that he could now drive with Robin Larsen's 2019 spec Audi. So he's really having to play catch-up, and he's doing extremely well.
I don't know if you watch Quinton Del Olmo and his style. So end of the straight, he's on the handbrake so early. And basically, that's where these esports guys have got a slight advantage. They know how to chuck the car and just nick an extra couple of tenths. Now, in real life, it's potentially a style which would work. Watch this. Watch Del Olmo at the end of the straight. Watch how early he's on the handbrake into the hairpin. Let's see if we can see it. There. That's exactly what I mean. He's got the car faced. He's made 90% of the rotation by the time he's turned the car in nearly. He's early on the gas, but I say you wouldn't be able to get away with that every lap in real life.
No, definitely not. And also you'd need to be sort of worrying about tyre wear across the course of the weekend, etc., etc. All these things that you don't have to worry about so much in an esports event.
So we've got a puncture for Alex Day. So Fail Race with a puncture, dropping back down the order. You can see there the front left corner of the car. Quinton Del Olmo and John Armstrong out front, just 6 tenths per second. Armstrong closing a tenth down on Del Olmo in this one. They're on the last lap. Everybody's jokered. Sideways. I'd say the only person who I've seen do that in real life is Petter Solberg. We watched one of his onboards. I think it was in the Polo. He went into that corner in fourth and pulled the bar. I kid you not. That is Solberg style for you. I'd love to have Petter back for a race, I have to say. And seeing as he was driving for Renault in F1 this weekend, I'm sure maybe maybe that's this afternoon. Maybe we can arrange it. Up on two wheels over the line, John Armstrong comes across in P2 from Quinton Del Olmo. Mika Salo going to come round for third place. Going to be Nicky Team in fourth, and Fail Race in fifth position. Fail Race a little way off with that puncture. Here he is.
Listen to the metal on the gravel. That's a horrific sound, but absolutely accurate as to what it is like to drive on gravel with a fully ripped off tyre.
Right, let's have a look and see who we've got.
218.9.
Yes, wow. Okay, that's the fastest time of the day so far then, because we saw a 2:22, didn't we, from was it Killian or Quinton in let's have a look back at the notes. You must have it written down as well. Yeah, Quinton did a 2:22 in the wet. He's just done a 2:18.9. So that's the fastest time of the weekend so far. 2:18.9 in the dry. And before that, Bachuska had got a 2:23.1. So that's just giving you an idea of how quick these guys are. On to race 4 for Q3. We've got Timmy Hansen on the inside, then Ollie Bennett, Lucas Mateja, Henrik Krogstad, and Reinis Nitish. So Reinis on the outside representing Latvia. Good to have you back, Reinis. Reinis doing a little bit of rallying this year. He's actually done a bit of rallying. Of course, some people have been lucky and got a few events away. The World Rally Championship and some National Rally Championships started early. Don't think there's been any rallycross this year, unfortunately, because of dear old COVID. Where everything is on hold. So all these drivers here getting their first rallycross outings for you guys at home. And say, please do give them a shout on social media. Hashtag World RX, hashtag Race at Home. But give them a big thank you if you appreciate what they've done for you, giving up their time, quite a lot of time, with the amount of practice these guys have been putting in. You're in the middle of the grid, riding on board with Lucas Mateja, who's right up there in third place at the minute on the standings. Not a good start. The Mateja gets left at the lights. Lucas Mateja is a long way back. Can't believe that would be tactically so far off the back of the pack. Timmy Hansen on the inside. Bennett runs a little bit deep. Timmy manages to take the position from him. Ollie Bennett right up behind. Almost contact between them. Did Bennett hit the wall in the background? Is Bennett still there, or has he hit the wall on the inside of Timmy? No, he is still there. So Ollie Bennett in the Excite Mini holding on. Oh, Lucas Mateja trying to make a pass here on Reinis Nitish. Nitish holding him up. Mateja's going to have to find a way through on the loose section. Is probably the best bet. Krogstad, Nitish and Mateja have all jokered.
So worst possible situation there for Mateja. Not only did he get a very bad start, maybe he saw himself on the screen and was slightly distracted, but he's now caught up in this chain. He's taken Reinis Nitish, but he's now behind Henrik Krogstad. So he tried to do the best thing possible, which is take the Joker after a bad start, but now he's got a lot of ground to make up.
Ollie Bennett, bottom right of your screen, you can see him looking across. He's obviously got a 3-screen setup because he's looking out the side windows. Look how far, look at his head rotation in real life down in the bottom corner, and you'll get an idea of of why they use a 3-screen setup. Because the cars are sideways there, you want to be looking across to the right-hand side, and that's where it's really hard driving in the onboard view if you don't have a 3-screen setup. These guys, and Timmy and Kevin, are using a really wide screen. That was what Timmy was saying earlier. He can't look at the gaps because they're so far off to the right-hand side. Their screen layout the same as yours at home with the timing up top right. Bennett comes in just in front of Rainis Nitish. Lucas Matasia is in front of them now, but Krogstad looks like he's maybe a couple of seconds up the road. Matasia will be trying to close that gap down. We've got a lap to go.
It was interesting there with Ollie Bennett because you could see he actually grazed the barrier on the outside of that big, long kind of horseshoe left-hander, kind of long, wide, open hairpin right. And we can see that the best line in is wide, but he was just a bit too wide and actually grazed the barrier. So lucky.
Timmy Jokelat merged just in front of Matasia. Oh my goodness me, that couldn't have been closer. So Hansen over the curbs on the inside nearly just made that work.
Incredible. I mean, that's the sort of skill, knowing you've got to make it work because of your race position, Joker-wise. Beautifully done, but he's still under pressure.
He's under a lot of pressure. Timmy Hansen coming towards the line. What kind of time can he get? He's going to be towards the top of the pack. Maybe nudges the barrier on the inside. So it's showing Matasia as the winner. So as Hansen had a penalty, Timmy Hansen crossed the line in first, but he's frowning at the screen and he would... No. Okay, that's strange to me. That were, unless Matasia made any... Were we on board with Hansen? Did Matasia pass him at some mad angle on the finish line? They must have been side by side on the finish line. So Lucas Matasia has taken that from Timmy Hansen, Henrik Krogstad, Ollie Bennett and Rainis Nitish.
Yeah, we need to try and watch the replay of that again because Timmy certainly was fully sideways over the finish line, but he looked like, especially from his reaction, that he thought he'd won the race because he punched the air. Did a little fist pump, but he was fully
now he's
sideways.
punching his screen because he's been beaten by a tenth of a second. Hulk smash. He'd be livid if Matasia, the green the green Hulk car, has managed to beat him.
Oh yeah, and of course he had Krogstad, the yellow squad, in that race as well. But yeah, I wonder if it was just the fact that he was pushing way too hard through that final left-right chicane through the barriers to get maximum speed to cross the finish line, and just got overtaken by a fraction of a second. But we need to get the stewards on that, or have a look at a replay if we can. If we can't, we can listen to the stories from the drivers when we speak to them.
We've got a few more messages coming in. So we've got some people saying their mate Sunday building a wardrobe is a bit easier with some fun rallycross, though he is finding it a tad distracting. Sorry about that. Remember, Part A and Part B, and don't forget those little dowel things because you won't want to rip the back off it once you've finished it. Where Phil Kinch is watching. Can we have a birthday shout out to Stuart Ball? Yes, we can. They want to come back to Silverstone. Yeah, we're hoping to get back to any racing this year. That's from Lucy. So Stuart,
happy birthday, mate. Ball for your birthday.
Have a good one. I'll have a beer for you afterwards. How about that? I'm open to having a beer for whoever you like. So what else we got? Watching from rainy Poland. Thank you for the entertainment. Absolutely our pleasure. Thank you for having us in your lounge. We've got Paul Chimilli saying big shout out to Woodland for delivering the cars on time to both Catalonia and Montalegre. So Paul works for Woodland, who is our logistics partner. Paul, well done, mate. I can't believe you managed to, what with COVID going on, you managed to get those cars from Catalonia to Portugal. Neil, that's incredible logistics work by Woodland, isn't it?
It's a lot of heavy pixels to move around. So as we've clearly got a bit of a breather, end of quali 3. Just a quick sort of think back of take us to the temperature of the racing we've seen so far. I do wonder. There's one driver that sort of made a couple of moves in round 1, Lucas Matasia, and again he's certainly not afraid of door-to-door contact. As we've seen again today. So I wonder, if he's being watched closely by the stewards, or if everything he's done so far today is within the limits of the law.
I guess, so we've had a question come in actually about where are the track marker penalties because the poles, as in the bollards, are flying. The game is making the penalties. That was agreed by the drivers because of the fact that in real life it's very clear. If you touch the poles, you get a penalty, and if you don't, you don't. In the game, you can actually cut a little bit more in Montalegre. And so we've allowed the game to give the penalties based on that. We do also have a steward who is giving penalties based on driving standards or obviously jump starts and things are done as well. So the game is doing most of the penalties, but we have extra ones if we need them. We've got the standings, I believe, after Q3. Let's take a look at how we are and who's likely to make it through to the semi-finals and who isn't. Quinton Del Olmo at the top of the table with 2 qualifying session wins. John Armstrong, though, is up to second place. The British driver, Lucas Matasia, in third. So those three, in fact, it's the top five are all esports experts. John Armstrong and Matthias Adielson, a big crossover. Don't forget Quinton Del Olmo and Killian Del Olmo also both have raced in cross karts. So good job by them. Killian, the set promotion driver, is in fourth. He's recently been driving rallycross cars as well. Timmy Hansen in sixth place. Henrik Krogstad, the yellow squad driver. Cool, he might get a promotion there if he can beat Timmy. Shane Van Gisbergen's in. Come on, Shane. Taking part in the middle of the night. So Shane Van Gisbergen is in at the moment, who's in P9 and P10. These are the last two guys to make the cut. Rokas Pachuska and Kevin Hansen are at the minute. Kevin Hansen on the cusp. Come on, Kevin. Now that Timmy's got an equal sim, I saw Timmy had a sim delivered this week. It's a bit tighter. And look at that on the right-hand side. Farashkin and Bennett are both seriously close to Bachuska and Kevin in terms of points. So there we are. Nitish Scheider team, fail race, and everybody below. I think it's a bit of a big ask. But stranger things have happened. And Neil, we don't know what the weather's going to be like for Q4 yet. Anything can happen in Montalegre in real life, I promise.
Definitely, and that's a really, really close bubble there. No one's safe. You know, that down to about 13th. Anyone could make it through to the semi-finals, and this is their last chance. So it's all about the times, remember. For qualifying, this is the best times. So I think we're ready for qualifying four.
Not get caught in a race. So let's see. Q4, let's go. Right, final qualifying session. We're going to see the weather once we cut to the grid. On the inside, Matvey Farashkin, the Russian driver. Henrik Krogstad next to him. Then Kevin Hansen, Timo Scheider, and Matthias Adielson. Kevin looking for a good result to try and scratch a position in the semis. It's dry, so dry conditions. I think less mistakes, but I actually think less visibility as well. So for me, the dust here is worse than the wet in terms of visibility. You're on the outside of the grid on board with Matthias Adielson, the winner from the first World RX Esports Invitational. Ready to race, light goes out. Great start by Adielson. Scheider as well on his inside, doing a good job. Kevin Hansen, 5 cars abreast all the way down towards turn 1. Late on the brakes. Kevin Hansen, Timo Scheider going to the Joker. Scheider runs deep. Adielson up the inside onto the back of Kevin Hansen. Kevin Hansen smashes through the bollards. Not sure if we'll get a penalty for that or not. There is an in-game penalty if you cut the Joker lap exit too much, but it's showing that he's taken the Joker. So Hansen, Adielson, Timo Scheider all have gone for the Joker, but Farashkin and Krogstad out front. And I think, Neil, that's not the tidiest lap from Kevin.
Not at all, and I would say, for those who've played this game, the bollards that mark the end of the Joker lap, if you cross them like he did, he kind of went between two, I would say he's in danger of a full-on 10-second penalty.
Krogstad there, Neil, sorry, making a pass on Farashkin at the end of the straight. I agree with you, though. Farashkin up the inside of Krogstad in the door. Farashkin goes round backwards at Montalegre. So it drops down the order. Matvey Farashkin is falling down the order. Henrik Krogstad now with just a 1-second lead. And although it wasn't the best lap by Kevin Hansen at the start there, Kevin now within 1.2 seconds of the driver who will be in their yellow squad RX2 car later this year. Look how sideways he is through that chicane. What's the gap now between Henrik? 1.5. So Henrik Krogstad is gapping team owner, team manager Kevin Hansen behind him, but it's not going to be enough because, Neil, 1.1 is not enough to get this Joker lap done and come out in front. He needs more like 3.
No, absolutely. He's going to be overhauled, isn't he? And this is interesting. In a normal qualifying session, he was in the last race of Q3 and the first race of Q4. And normally that would be a disadvantage because you've got so much to re-prep and get yourself back in gear. But, of course, in the virtual world, you're just still sitting in your seat and ready to go. Krogstad should be taken by Hansen, but Hansen, of course, could be looking at a penalty for cutting the bollards on the exit of the Joker.
Through the Joker lap now, Henrik Krogstad. He's lost 2 positions already. You could see Kevin Hansen, Matthias Adielson passed him on the results tower on the right-hand side. So Krogstad drops down a couple of places, but actually not too far in terms of time. I wonder if Kevin Hansen's going to get away with that bollard mow down that he did on lap 1. It was no prisoners, no lifting for bollards. And then no lifting from Adielson either. Kevin Hansen going to cross the line on this one. It's a pretty good race time as well. Around the 2:22 mark as you ride on board with Scheider, who makes a mistake just at the line. And here comes Matvey Farashkin. Farashkin facing the wrong way after a bit of contact with Henrik Krogstad. It's a 2:22.1 So Quinton Del Olmo with that 2:18.9 looking very impressive indeed from Q3. But Kevin Hansen sets the early pace with a 2:22.1 in this last race, the first race of Q4. So we've got 3 races to go before we get onto the semi-finals.
And crucially, no penalty for his exit of the Joker, which is good to see. But it just means that those track limits are quite broad and they are not being enforced too strictly.
Right, on to race 2 of Q4. Say 3 races to go to decide who makes the cut and who doesn't. At the minute in this one, definitely Del Olmo, Van Gisbergen and Armstrong are in. Nicky Thiem is going to be on the pole with Quinton next to him. Super fast. I think Quinton has won the last 2 sessions. He has Quinton Del Olmo with 2 qualifying session wins. Can he make it 3 out of 4? Shane Van Gisbergen with a very impressive debut. I know we've got some people watching down in Australia and New Zealand, and they're staying up very late for this to watch the V8 specialist come and have a go at rallycross. Shane, we're going to need you to come and have a go in a real rallycross car. This is going to be an issue. Rainy Snittish is out in P4 on the grid and John Armstrong in 5. So who wants to see Shane Van Gisbergen, the V8 champion, the New Zealander legend, in a rallycross car for real? I know I do, looking at the way he's been pedaling in this. We're going to ride on board with Van Gisbergen, it looks like, off the start. To his right is Quinton Del Olmo, the winner of the last 2 sessions. Ready to race light comes on. Green light, great start for Van Gisbergen in the middle. Van Gisbergen maybe going to edge it on the run down to the first corner. Where's Del Olmo going to go? Is Del Olmo going to go deep? Where's Van Gisbergen? Van Gisbergen's gone Joker, has he? Not sure, so it's hard to tell from that angle. Yes, he has. Shane Van Gisbergen's gone Joker with John Armstrong. Now, that's good, Neil. Last time, Van Gisbergen got tagged, if you remember, on the brakes on the run into turn 1, and it cost him a better result. So I think Van Gisbergen's gone, you know what, this is too much of a bundle. I'm going to go deep and avoid that tricky braking zone into the inside hairpin.
I think you're absolutely right. He didn't want to take that risk or make that mistake again. Plus, he knew he had a couple of car lengths on Del Olmo, the esports specialist, down. He's
up behind Thiem, Neil. Look how Nicky Thiem goes Joker. He was actually on the back of Nicky Thiem immediately on that first lap. So brilliant first lap by Shane Van Gisbergen. Nicky Thiem goes Joker. So Van Gisbergen leads the drivers who jokered, and he leads 2 very, very good guys indeed in Del Olmo and Armstrong. I reckon Van Gisbergen's put the hours in. What do you reckon, Neil? Do you reckon, is he a big Dirt Rally 2.0 fan? I mean, is he just, well, we know he's very good, but this is quite specialist to be this good against guys like Del Olmo. Look at the stand! Look at the stand!
If he hasn't been putting in loads of practice, then he's something supernatural about the Van Giers, because this is incredible to see how well he's doing. Like, he's going to win this qualifying session.
Well, don't give him the commentator's curse, Neil. God, that'll be the first time you've ever done that. That's Neil then, see, don't worry. Nittich, they're on board with Nittich there. Side by side, Nittich gets a bit of contact, runs a little bit deep. You're then looking at Van Gisbergen coming across. He's got another lap to go under intense pressure from Del Olmo. Oh, contact there on the wall for Rainy Snittish, dropping time. Somebody's in the wall on the outside as well. Look how early they're rotating the car. To be fair, though, Van Gisbergen's got the hang of that as well, Neil.
Yeah, he's incredible. He must have been putting in loads of practice, because he is teaching the Del Olmos a thing or two. It's superb to see what the Kiwi can do.
Come on, Shane Van Gisbergen, get some. So Van Gisbergen coming through those last couple of corners. Quinton Del Olmo unable to do anything about the V8 superstar. He's going to take it. Shane Van Gisbergen, 2-wheel victory over the line. Quinton Del Olmo and John Armstrong, 2nd and 3rd. Rainy Snittish gets 4th. Rainis has been given a 5-second penalty, so Rainis drops down into 5th place. Nicky Thiem getting 4th there. So 2:20.5 as well. That's 1.6 off the time of Quinton Del Olmo that won Q3. So Shane Van Gisbergen has thrown it down at big time. 2:20.5. We're going to have to ask him to get on a long-haul flight later this year and come and do some rallycross. Shane, that's I can't find the money, but I'm hoping one of the teams will be able to find the money for you. So
also,
that would be.
I want to see a screen grab of him crossing the line, winning that race on 2 wheels in the air. I want someone to screenshot that and share it on social. That is brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Right, this one then. Ollie Bennett, Lucas Mateja, Fail Race, Antonio Felix da Costa, and Rokas Baciuska. Waiting to get the cars down onto the grid.
It's been a couple of moments today, Coley, where I've really got the pure feeling, where you've got a sort of a front quarter bodywork rubbing against the rear quarter as they go down the straight. Who's going to give? Who's going to give? This is giving me all the goosebumps that I normally get on a rallycross weekend. This is so exciting.
It is making me miss it, though. I must admit, I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying it. I hope you guys are enjoying it at home, and most of all, I hope that we can get this awful situation beaten and get everybody back to some sense of normal later this year. So what a fantastic sport. And it translates so well to esports as well, short and sharp. And I say, hope you guys are enjoying it as much as me and Neil are. So it's our pleasure to be here bringing it to you. Right, here we go.
The penultimate race of qualifying.
Ollie Bennett on the inside. Message from Matvey Frashkin. They've got a big storm in Moscow. I love it. That's like proper information. So I guess he'll be hoping he doesn't get any internet problems if it's some sort of mad thunderstorm. So Frashkin in a big storm. We're going to have a storm down at turn 1 now. So we've got a green light and nobody's gone. What's happened here? We've got a disconnection on. No, maybe not. Okay, so Bennett, look at that. It's a fantastic in-game shot, that, isn't it, of the run down to the first corner. Fail race has gone Joker. And with him has gone Antonio Felix da Costa and Rokas Baciuska. So Felix da Costa there coming through in the Peugeot. Sideways, Lucas Mateja up the inside of Ollie Bennett. And the esports guy is so good at finding a way past. Bennett runs a little bit deep in the mini. It's a wild first lap from Ollie Bennett. And I think he's going to be under pressure from behind. He is Rokas Baciuska. He's right there, Neil.
Yeah, Baciuska was absolutely ruthless in his pursuit of a slightly sort of scattergun approach there from Ollie Bennett on that first lap. So whenever Ollie jokers, he's definitely going to get taken by Rokas Baciuska. He'll be then hunting down Lucas Mateja for the win of this race.
So we've had a message from Antonio Felix da Costa come in and he said, "This is carnage, but I love it." That's absolutely brilliant. So we want Antonio Felix da Costa to come and have a go at Rallycross as well. This is the problem, is we're just discovering loads of drivers who are really good at Rallycross and desperately want to have a go. Neil, we've been lucky enough, haven't we, to do things like Race of Champions and see drivers take on a Rallycross car in that. And also, of course, we've been aware of the drivers who've been and had a secret test here and there of a Rallycross car. I've never, ever seen any driver from any other discipline get out of a Rallycross car and go, "Oh, no, I don't fancy it, actually."
Yeah, and Antonio Felix da Costa himself is a bit of a sort of motorsport polymath. GTs. I remember working with him on Formula 1 3.5 back in the same era as Daniel Ricciardo and Carlos Sainz Jr. GT cars, open wheelers, Formula E. So he's got skills that are transferable. Where's Ollie going?
Well, he's transferred some skills there, mate. I'll tell you where he's going. If Bennett got punted off by Antonio Felix da Costa, I think who we're talking about. These three are doing a very good job of ripping every panel off every corner of the car. Bennett sideways in, fail race, and Antonio Felix da Costa having their own race 15 seconds off the back and ain't care. They're just having a good time. So Lucas Mateja out front, absolutely smashing it. Where's Baciuska? Mateja's going to take this. What's the time going to be? It's going to be right down among the quick ones. Could be a 19.1. Super fast from Mateja. Rokas Baciuska crosses the line, P2. Fail race going to hold on. Contacted behind, maybe. Straight lines that chicane. Bennett and Felix da Costa having Antonio Felix da Costa having a great fight. And there's Bennett crossing the line. So that was brilliant. And I love the fact that Antonio Felix da Costa says, sent a message in basically on Discord and said, "I'm loving it. It's carnage." I mean, that's just such a contrast in terms. 2:19.1 for Lucas Mateja. 2:19.1. So that makes him slightly quicker than Shane Van Gisbergen. But epic stuff. Right, on to the final race of qualifying, Q4, race 4. Connor Martell on the inside. Come on, Connor, get that bigger hammer out, give that router a good smash up, and let's get a decent race in for the American driver, who we're very pleased to have on board. Thanks for getting up early, mate. Killian Dalolmo doing a fantastic job up top. Can he remain there? Can he take a TQ? Timmy Hansen in the middle of the grid, Mika Salo and Bilko on the outside. If we can get Bilko, I've got a feeling we're gonna struggle, but let's see. Going to get
So
the
the
cars
interesting
down
thing
on the
here is
grid.
you've got Finnish legend Mika Salo, who is an absolute pleasure to have him on board. But in theory, this should be a straight fight between Timmy and Killian. They'll already have their strategy planned, I would say. Like if you, depending on your position, one will go Joker, one will go standard lap, and then they will just push. Because really, depending on everyone else's connections, those two should just have a straight, flat-out race.
So we're just getting the cars lined up. There they are. We are missing Bilko. What a shame. Well, we're going to see. We're going to see if we can get a chat with Bilko. If you're watching, drop the guys a message. We'll try and get that set up for the end of qualifying here. You are behind Timmy Hansen. The ready to race light is on. Kevin, look right behind Timmy, full focus. Kevin going to spot for him. Good start, but an even better start on the inside. Killian Del Olmo. Mika Salo with a good start too. Where's Timmy going to go? Is he going to go standard lap? He goes early on the brakes. Del Olmo's going the same way. So Killian Del Olmo has gone to the standard lap with Timmy Hansen. Conor Martel is in the mix this time. So Conor Martel seems to have got a decent connection finally. Martel has gone to the joke lap. Has he maybe with Salo? We haven't seen it come up yet. Salo's plus 4 seconds, so Salo definitely in, and you can see the yellow joke lap indicator. Killian Del Olmo just in front of Timmy Hansen here. Is he going to school the World Rallycross champion in Dirt Rally 2.0? Could Timmy hang on to him? Down towards the end of the straight now. Yeah, sideways on the rotation. Lap. Killian, standard lap again. Yeah, well, Timmy knows, doesn't he, Neil? Like, if he's not making any gains on Del Olmo, there's no point in jokering and putting himself into the hands of the other two guys. He might as well hold on.
True. Yeah, good point. But this is so impressive from Killian.
Yeah, the very best. I say he is the world champion in Dirt Rally 2.0. He's pretty faultless when we had the final lap at the Autosport show earlier on this year. Because we had a Dirt 4 final a couple of years ago as well, when that was the latest title. And Luke, who co-commentated that with me, has just sent me a message saying, "Are you cutting your own hair?" Yes, I am.
Not right now, though.
No, not now. I'm a bit busy right now, but yes, I am. Grade 1 about a week before Barcelona. Haven't cut it since. It's the way forward, people. Get yourself a pair of clippers and just go for it. Sigourney Weaver from Alien. So it works for everyone. Right, Killian Del Olmo through the right-hander and through the left. Coming up through that section of Armco. Where's Timmy? How far back is Timmy off the back of him? 2.3 seconds down to the end of the straight. Yeah, so Del Olmo's done a good job of gapping him here. Martel's showing us Joker, so Conor must still be in this. We just haven't seen much of him. Look at that fantastic popping over the curbs. I love it when you see the cars. And that's genuinely what it's like. The curbs here are enormous, Neil, aren't they?
Well, they're slightly taller than me.
But they are genuinely, aren't they? They're so hard for people to understand it. Yeah, the height of the height.
You know, it's not like the baguettes you get on a standard circuit. They are fully ridged, big concrete ridges.
Del Olmo takes the final race of qualifying from the World Rallycross champion Timmy Hansen. Mika Salo, XF1 driver, we've been very grateful to have along today. Salo going to come through in third. Waiting for Conor Martel. Where's Martel? Martel's down at the hairpin. And I think Martel's going to have to pull over, so maybe an issue. There he is, Conor, come on.
That's more jet lag than anti-lag, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Conor did get up early, and he's disconnected, unfortunately, as you can see on the right-hand side. So, yeah, you get real-life issues in the game as well. So, Killian Del Olmo with a 2:18.5. I think he's going to win this session, but we will wait until, that's what 2:19 was before, wasn't it? It was Lucas, but that could well have an effect on who's going to get the top qualifier spot here. Now that qualifying is done, we've got just 3 races to go, 2 semi-finals and a final. We'll go through some of your social media with you in a minute. I'm waiting to hear from Race Control if we're going to have a chat with anyone or not. How are we doing, Neil?
So let's have a look at. I'm doing all right, thank you. What I wanted to do was have a look at some replays there, just to see how spectacular the final session of qualifying was, and we can all take a breath before we hit the semi-finals. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds good to me. Let's have a look.
I was just doing some maths there. I can actually track my finger going 1, 2, 3, 4, but there's correct maths. If in case you were worried, my maths was correct.
We could hear you tapping your finger down the table. Actually, Neil, I think was that what it was? I was wondering. We counting 1, 2, but like it's easy when only 10 make the semi-finals. You know, we're all right then, aren't we? We're all right.
The decimal system is much easier. The Thanos system.
Yeah, there we go. Right, I think, are we ready to see some results after Q4? Are we going to see who's made it through to the semi-finals? We are indeed. Quinton Dall'Olmo gets the TQ again. So he was TQ last time out in Catalonia, but then he didn't make it through to the final. So it's not over yet. It's his brother, Kylian Dall'Olmo, who won the other 2 sessions. So the Dall'Olmo family taking all 4 qualifying sessions here at the World RX Esports Invitational from Montalegre RX. So 1-2 for them. They will be in separate semi-finals. Lucas Matasia going up against Quinton Dall'Olmo in semi-final 1. John Armstrong should be up against Kylian Dall'Olmo in semi-final 2. Timmy Hansen is in. Matthias Adielson, the winner last time, is in. Shane van Gisbergen is in on his debut. Fantastic. Henrik Krogstad is in 8th place. And let's see who the final 2 are. Bachuska and Hansen Kevin. So we've got a couple more of our real-life World Rallycross drivers in. Matvey Farashkin misses out, as does Bennett, Nitish Scheider, Team Fail Race, and the others who are below. But we need to say a big thank you to them. Also, particularly Connor Martell, who I know we got up early, and Bilko as well. Bilko, I'm really sorry, mate. We had a few connection problems for the Monster Energy FMX rider, FMX legend, who wasn't able to take part in this one. And I don't think we're going to have time to do an interview with them right now, Neil. But we're very grateful to all these drivers for taking part.
Thanks.
Yeah. So send them some love on social media, people. That's what we want to do. That's what we want to do. Right. Let's see. Have we got any messages? Are we ready to go? Just looking now to see.
Now Mika Salo and Timo Scheider can maybe catch up and maybe form a rallycross team as former teammates winning the 24 Hours of Spa. Maybe they could come back.
I'd like that.
For Belgium. You know.
I'd like that. Okay, what have we got? Is this? This looks like it's the semi-final lineup. So I've had come through. It is so. Okay, well, we're ready to head semi-final 1, so there's no need for me to tell you who's in it because we're going to go and do it. Let's take a look at the lineup for semi-final number 1. We're good to go. So Quinton Dall'Olmo on the pole. The top qualifier last time and the top qualifier this time. Can he have a better run here in Portugal and make it through to the final? Lucas Matasia got a podium last time out. He's going to have his work cut out with the lineup he's got here, with Quinton one side of him and the real-life World Rallycross champion next to him in the middle of the grid, Timmy Hansen. Next to Timmy, running in his brother's car, is Shane van Gisbergen. Absolutely brilliant performance by the Kiwi, who, of course, is a legend in Aussie V8s. And I'm really hoping that Shane's going to make it through. And most of all, I'm hoping that's going to light a fire underneath him to come and have a go at something else with a brilliant engine in it and come and have a crack at the World Rallycross Championship. Rokas Bachuska on the outside. Here we go. Semi-final number 1. We're good to go. Sunset at Montalegre, coming towards the end of our race weekend here. Race at home, hashtag bottom right. Send us your messages. Who do you think's going to win? You know who's in the semi-finals now. Who's your money on? You've been impressed with Van Gisbergen? Send him a thank you as well. Thanks as well to our sponsors, Motorsport Games, Cooper Tyres, Codemasters, Game Bite, Monster Energy. Outside of the grid then, Bachuska with a great start, but in the middle of the grid, Timmy Hansen and the two esports guys running down towards turn 1. Dall'Olmo going to go early on the brakes. Quinton Dall'Olmo goes standard lap Into the joke lap goes Rokas Bachuska. Timmy Hansen in the door of Dal Olmo. Matasia up alongside. Matasia going to try and make the pass. He's got the inside line. Turns in towards the left, but going around the outside. Dal Olmo just able to hold on. Timmy Hansen looking for a way through Matasia. Surely going to force the pass here. Can Timmy pick up the pieces? Dal Olmo sideways. Hansen, he's up the inside. You can see him there. Bit of a tank snapper from Matasia. Runs deep, but it's not enough. And for me, again, Timmy made the pass, has he? Hansen gets past Matasia. Matasia falling into the hands of Bachuska. Bachuska's the only driver to have choken, and he's ahead of Shane van Gisbergen. Brilliant by Bachuska.
Also brilliant by Timmy. That was revenge served cold, I think. Trying to get his own back play. Sort of beat Lucas at his own game a little bit there. That was very impressive. A real shame for Van Geers, left behind slightly on the start line, and you can't do that in a race of this quality.
So Shane van Gisbergen right behind Lucas Matasia, just a tenth of a second between them. Bachuska is about 2.2 seconds up the road. He is 1.9 up the road. Bachuska's on the back of Hansen already. So Rokas Bachuska doing what he did when he debuted in the World Rallycross Championship, shocking everyone with just how quick he is. We lost the Rocket Suarez. We've got the Rocket back in Bachuska, haven't we? So Rocket Bachuska absolutely flying here, Neil.
And don't forget, this is a 6-lap race, but the top 2 automatically qualify through to the final. So semi-final 1, 2 go through. Semi-final 2, 2 go through. Then the fastest of the third places of the 2 semi-finals goes to make up the 5th spot in the final. So this is about coming in the top 2 or the quickest third. So
yeah, and I'm concerned. I think this is messy, Neil. I think from third downwards, they've lost time. If you had a clean semi-final 2, as you see Van Gisbergen put a pass on Hansen. Shane van Gisbergen straight up the inside of Timmy Hansen. Has Timmy got a problem? Surely he's not going to fire off his teammate, is he? Timmy looking... we did see him and his brother go door-to-door at Hollius last year. Of course, this time he doesn't have to worry about Kevin being at the wheel because it's Van Gisbergen who is at the wheel of Kevin's car. They're chasing Matasia. And the thing is, Neil, they can't give up, never give up, because the second semi-final could be equally carnage.
Sure, and there's still a lap and a half to go, and someone could make a mistake up ahead. So
look at that.
That's pushing.
That is ridiculous from Matasia on the handbrake. Now, Rainis Nittish sent me a message earlier going, the esports guys are so sideways on the straight. He said, he sent me another one, actually. This is great fun. I need to be better prepared for next time, but I hope for a rematch. Well, we hope you come back as well, Rainis. Thanks for coming, mate, and thanks for watching. If you're in Latvia, we know how much you guys love your rallycross. You've had a couple of superstars up there for a couple of years. Matasia's off! Lucas Matasia, one of the esports vets, on a podium last time, has made a mistake and gone. Shane van Gisbergen is in third place, so van Gisbergen could have a lifeline here. He's only 4 seconds off the leader. This could put Shane van Gisbergen in, but we won't know until the end of step 2. Look at that, Neil, the way they scrub the speed off at the end of the straight. It's crazy.
It's not quite the most efficient way to do it in real life, but it is.
No, it's not. But
it
does look spectacular.
Oh, we love it. I'd rather watch that than neat and tidy.
Shane van Gisbergen, you're on board with. Looking back now as Bachuska comes through to book a slot in the finals. Van Gisbergen is right there with him. So Quinten Dal Olmo goes through to the inside. Shane van Gisbergen is going to take second. Does he? Did Van Gisbergen... Is that a penalty? Yes, penalties. Bachuska gets a 5-second penalty. Van Gisbergen is in the final. Shane van Gisbergen, the Kiwi Aussie V8 legend, goes through to the final with Quinten Dal Olmo, who didn't make it last time but has had the TQ. Brilliant drive. Matasia is in third place with 5-second penalties for both Bachuska and Hansen. Well, semi-finals bringing the fire, as always, in the World Rallycross Championship, and esports is no different. That was a brilliant semi-final number 1. Shane van Gisbergen through. If you're staying up late in the Southern Hemisphere, thanks very much. You have to a little bit later. Killian Dal Olmo is on the pole with John Armstrong next to him, then Matthias Adelsson. Remember, all 3 of these guys have competed in real life, and they're all esports experts. I think the same Krogstad and Kevin Hansen too, maybe a little bit behind the other 3 in terms of esports experience, but certainly not in terms of real wheel time. Semi-final 2 and the final to go. Adelsson, the winner last time.
the sun setting in Montalegre over the mountains, way up in the north of Portugal. Semi-final 2 is underway.
On the inside, Kylian Delolmo looks to have got the best start. Going to go early on the brakes. Kylian Delolmo goes standard lap. With him has gone John Armstrong and Henrik Krogstad. Henrik Krogstad looking to try and find a way through. Armstrong got a wheel alongside Delolmo, but he's not quite close enough. Over the curbs on the left and on the right, Kylian Delolmo leads on the standard lap. But Kevin Hansen and Matthias Adielson have both gone Joker on lap 1. Neil, what do you think to the tactics?
Well, they both showed that it was an early decision. Their body language of the cars was, we are going to the Joker. And they didn't change their minds depending on what the other one did. So they clearly think they've got a chance of catching up on what is a very strong non-Joker train up front.
But so far, Neil, they're clean. And I suppose the thing is as well, if they're looking for a semi-final, if they can get semi-final number 2 as a clean result, whichever one of these two gets third, assuming Delolmo and Armstrong beat them, in theory, you know, they're going to book that slot, because we know Van Gisbergen had some issues in the first one, but he was so close. Well, no, Van Gisbergen through, sorry. Who was it that was third? Was it Matasia in the end? I can't remember.
Matasia was third.
So these two, I think these two are battling, Neil, for the place in the final, personally, because I think if they keep it clean, I think they'll be quicker than semi-1. But with the penalties that were given out in that one, let's see. Delolmo look 0.8 of a second. Henrik Krogstad now is just 1.4 in front of Kevin Hansen. There is Matthias Adielson, bottom right of your screen. Motion rig on the go, chucking the car around. Neil, interesting what he said earlier about being in full concentration mode.
Yeah, you know, they while you're in it, it's so fully immersive and they're so competitive that you probably could track them. I'm not a medical doctor. You could probably, you know, get the same levels of adrenaline and sort of heart rate spikes for the concentration, because it is virtually the same thing.
I'd love to track their eye movements as well. I've seen some studies done on that before about how little the drivers blink, and we saw that last time, didn't we? Watch Armstrong again, you'll see they choose very carefully when it isn't they're going to blink, because you just can't take your eyes off the screen for a second. You're looking at John Armstrong in P2, coming through the dust. Delolmo's gapped in by 1.3. None of the top 3 have jokered yet. How far back is Adielson off Krogstad? He's a fair way back, so Adielson's got past Kevin Hansen, so I must admit I didn't see that. Oh, Joker, that merged super close between Krogstad and Armstrong. Krogstad was a big threat. We didn't have that down, did we? Krogstad trying to come around the outside of John Armstrong. He's in the door of him. Armstrong gets sideways. Krogstad over the barriers on the inside. Just about holds on. Would he get a penalty for that or not? So John Armstrong coming under a hell of a lot of pressure here from Henrik Krogstad, the yellow squad driver, taking it to the esports professionals. Sideways through here. Who's going to get the better exit? For me, Armstrong was sideways, but Krogstad carrying a lot of speed down the straight. Kylian Delolmo. Krogstad's gone Joker now, so Krogstad going to drop back. Is he going to drop back behind Adielson? He is. He's dropped all the way back, so Krogstad, having not Jokered, was in the mix with those guys and has now gone backwards. Kylian Delolmo and John Armstrong out front, definitely going to go through on the final lap, coming through the last couple of corners. Kylian Delolmo has 2.9 on John Armstrong and got caught in that battle with Krogstad, who hadn't Jokered. Cost him a bit of time. Armstrong books a spot in the final. Adielson going to go through. So Matthias Adielson, Kevin Hansen spins across the line. And there was a penalty for Kevin anyway. So Kevin Hansen dropping down. It's Adielson with a 3:30.0. Is that enough? I can't remember the times. We'll get confirmation from, maybe confirmation from race control as to which of the guys has gone through to the final. Interesting stuff.
But that was a textbook Joker from John Armstrong, and then he came out and he was fully committed, elbows out, and it meant that Krogstad had to kind of take evasive action to just basically not take John Armstrong out. So it was fair racing there from Krogstad, but John Armstrong put himself in the racing line with that extra speed coming out of the Joker section and did everything he could to get himself successfully into the final. Nice work. So
we've got Adielson with a 3:30.0, but I don't have the results
what was
from
Matthias?
semi-final 1. Yeah, I don't have the results from that, so we will see. I'm just having a look. Ollie Bennett sent me a message earlier saying, I've learned my lesson from Barcelona with the esports guys. I'm going straight through everyone's doors. He was joking. There was a crying smiley. Don't worry. Ollie,
you've got to get alongside them first.
Again, yeah, it's good to see. There we go as well. Another nice message from Stretch 2. Let me have a quick check while we wait and see who's in the final, see who we've got has got in touch. Adielson is the 5th qualifier, just in from race control. It's C.S. Adielson, the winner from round 1, did make it through that 3 minutes 30. So Adielson's in the mix. Can he make it 2 from 2? We've got Joel Strickland is watching down in watching our Aussie Kiwi guys here in Australia late Sunday. What else we got? I never thought I would. They're mega. So people getting emotional watching. That's lovely to hear. Yeah, we've had some nice stories today.
That sunset for the semi-finals, you know, when I saw that, and it's normally the end of a race weekend, that got me a little bit. It's like,
I know,
this
man.
Is really special. This is really special.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely up there, isn't it? So let's see if we can get Petter Solberg in later in the year. Lots of people enjoying it basically, so it's nice. So here we go. So someone's saying, have a couple of beers for us. We're stuck in Cape Town with no booze. Sorry. So back in the Brits, John Armstrong and fail race. Yeah, loads of people getting stuck in. Lots of people saying how impressive Shane Van Gisbergen has been on his debut. And we've got the picture as well of Kevin Hansen up on 2 wheels crossing the finish line. Or was it Shane
that was Shane. That was Van Gis.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. Look at that. That's a great picture.
So we have our finalists. Should we have a little look back at what happened? Yeah, share that, everyone. Retweet, hashtag race at home.
Yeah, we'll put it up somewhere. Someone's tweeted me with it. Go and find it and retweet it.
Hashtag crush quarantine with Monster Energy. So should we have a quick
need to crush quarantine. Go on, Neil. Yes.
Watch the replay, and then we can get the final underway.
Fantastic. One last message that I've just had come in. We've got Michael Alfaro watching in Costa Rica, said he fell in love with Rallycross in South Africa 2019 at that brilliant final event of last year's championship. And he's been spent the entire winter back watching stuff from 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm sure you're sick of the sound of our voices, but I'm so pleased that we've turned you into a fan of this brilliant sport. Lots of people as well saying how much they're enjoying Rallycross as esports, and there's some brilliant esports out there at the minute. Shout out to the guys at Motorsport Games, who I know are working so hard to bring you the action from a number of different championships, and we're grateful for them being a partner, along with Cooper Tires, Game Bite, Monster Energy. Fantastic. Codemasters, the guys who made this brilliant game. So we've got one race left to go here in Portugal, just the final to come. Here we go then. Final time on the inside. The TQ man going through to take pole in the final. Quinton Dall'Olmo with his brother Kilian Dall'Olmo, the World Rallycross champion in Dirt Rally 2.0. Shane Van Gisbergen making the final at the first attempt. The Kiwi Aussie V8 legend racer is in there, and we've seen how quick he is. Can Van Gisbergen get himself a podium or even a win here? John Armstrong in the final, just looking to see last time where Armstrong didn't make it through. And then Matthias Adielson out on the outside of the grid, the winner last time. What can he do from slot number 5? And they're going to be in for a surprise when they see the track for the first time, because in true traditional Montalegre style, it's raining. Straps, you can see the fans turning around in the back of Van Gisbergen's car. I know a lot of you will be rooting for Van Gisbergen. I am definitely. Here we go, ready to race on, about to go out. It's final time here at Montalegre RX Esports Invitational. Van Gisbergen left behind at the start. It's an epic start by Dal Olmo. Kylian Dal Olmo with an incredible hole shot down towards the first corner. Where's Kylian going to go? On the brakes, I think Dal Olmo, no, he hasn't. Dal Olmo's gone Joker, so Kylian Dal Olmo goes Joker. Shane Van Gisbergen goes with him. Matthias Adielson too, knocking a couple of the bollards down over the goal. No! Van Gisbergen spins, hooked the wheel on the inside. Did he touch that barrier? Van Gisbergen went round. Adielson with him, so Adielson running Ekstrom's livery. Contact for those two, they've dropped off the back of the pack and contact again. Oh, did Adielson push him off there, Neil?
There was definitely a second contact, but I don't know if there was no way it was deliberate. I just think that Shane's struggling to get back to grips with the wet conditions again, having got used to dry is the way I read it.
Oh dear, well let's see what way the stewards read it, but it's not going to matter because it's going to mean it's going to be a three-way fight up front. It's 6.8 back for Matthias Adielson. Shane Van Gisbergen mugged a little bit on the first lap there. It's a shame. I think we all went to see the Kiwi in the mix. Last time's winner Adielson. Was that contact on the first lap allowed or not? If we get an update from race control before the race ends, we will let you know. But at the minute, Quinton Dal Olmo leads from John Armstrong. Kylian Dal Olmo, of course, having Joker on the first lap. So we need to see the gap back from Kylian. 1.7. Kylian Dal Olmo's on the back of John Armstrong already. John Armstrong goes into the Joker lap now. You can see Kylian Dal Olmo on the inside. Armstrong should come out easily in P3 here. He does. You can see Adielson just coming through the hairpin.
So this is exactly what the Dal Olmo brothers must have been planning ever since they didn't get the result they wanted in Catalonia. They've had 3 weeks to make sure that they can put themselves on the podium, but it's just which order they go in. That's what's to be decided in the next 3 laps.
Or sideways then for Armstrong. What's the gap now? 4.5. How close is Adielson? Could he take a podium? I think he's a little bit too far back. He hasn't. Yeah, he's 9.3 off. So Adielson has gone backwards here from Armstrong. Kylian Dal Olmo has got 3.3 over Armstrong. So this is a battle of the brothers. Kylian Dal Olmo versus Quinton Dal Olmo. It's very much like in real life with Kevin Hansen and Timmy Hansen. As we said earlier, these guys have practiced together. There's just a couple of laps remaining. You're looking at Quinton Dal Olmo. He will know his brother Kylian is there. He's in the mirrors. Kylian Dal Olmo in the white Peugeot. Quinton Dal Olmo, look through the spray. Can he see his brother back there? Is he going to go Joker? He goes Joker now. Quinton Dal Olmo goes into the Joker. Look for Kylian on the inside. This is the merge. Just drive straight through the bollards. No care there at all. So Quinton Dal Olmo goes through. Kylian must be in front of him. There he is. Kylian Dal Olmo has taken the lead, and Quinton's just got 1 lap to turn that around, Neil.
Oh, that's incredible. And it just goes to show that knowing the game and knowing what you can get away with in terms of track limits, perfectly legal because it's the same for everyone.
Yeah, we know Kevin Hansen knew that earlier now, don't we? Because Kevin just mullered those bollards as well, didn't he? So I know that those ones are mullerable because I've cheated there loads of times. So yeah, you can't cheat the Armco though. So super close. Van Gisbergen in front of Matthias Adielson. Look at Van Gisbergen, backs it in, proper Scandi flick on the brakes into the hairpin. Get some. Shane Van Gisbergen, full send. That is what we want to see. He's in a fight with Matthias Adielson. The winner last time is down in P5, but just a little way further up the lap. Kylian Dal Olmo, the World Rallycross champion in Dirt Rally 2.0, is going to take the win in Montalegre. Quinton Dal Olmo's brother comes across the line in second. John Armstrong about to cross the line to make it an esports 1-2-3 with John, of course, a real-life rally driver as well. Sideways for Adielson. Crosses the line. Kylian showing in fourth. Has he been given a penalty? He has. Kylian Dal Olmo with a 20-second penalty disqualified from the win. So Kylian Dal Olmo DQ'd from the win and has dropped down. It's Quinton Dal Olmo, the TQ man at both events, who didn't make the final last time. His brother takes the win from Armstrong and Adielson. And we need to know from race control, what was that for, Neil?
Yeah,
what was
we
that
need to know
for?
what the penalty is for, because that's obviously an in-game penalty that's not been applied by stewards watching it. That's something that the game has given him. 20 seconds. Yeah, it's a biggie. So while we find out what that was for, that's a controversial ending to the race, but B, what a final.
It was good, wasn't it? It was good. I'm sorry Van Gisbergen wasn't in a mix. Semi-finals were brilliant, weren't they? It's often, I think the semi-finals, people always go full risk. It's the same in real life. If you watch back the World Jump start. That's why he got, of course, that incredible start. He must have been absolutely on the verge of the lights, because we saw it earlier today. Sometimes it's really obvious in the say the second they go, everybody else is allowed to go. So it's not like in real rallycross where we do a restart. If somebody jumps the start, you follow immediately. So he jumped the start, Neil, but it was super, he was unlucky, wasn't he? Because the lights, to me, I was just like, wow, he's got a great start.
Yeah, well, it's very hard to guess, isn't it? Of course, it's a random gap after the ready to race light goes out to the start. He clearly tried to guess it. I launched off the line, and that's it. That's the sort of milliseconds difference to a race win or a 20.
And we've got some more news in. Yeah, we've got a 10-second penalty for the winner of round 1, Matthias Adielson, for that contact on lap 1. And that's going to put Shane van Gisbergen on the podium on his debut. So Shane van Gisbergen on the podium. That's it. As far as I'm concerned, the deal's signed. What events are you going to do later this year? Give the teams a shout. Tell them who the new driver is going to be in the World Rallycross Championship. I think... Oh, we've got a penalty contact on the final lap as well. So, yeah, so they were a little bit... Neil, I think the drivers were a little bit naughtier this time than they were in Barcelona.
Some of them were. Some of them were extremely well behaved, Andrew.
Really?
And Contan, let's applaud our winner. Contan Del Olmo is our clean and streets ahead winner. But yes, there was certainly a lot of contact these 19 races we've just had.
Yeah, and to be fair, Quinton Del Olmo as well, winning 2 rounds of qualifying. TQ, he got the TQ last time, then didn't make the final. So I think it's fair to say, both the Del Olmo brothers absolutely at the pinnacle of Dirt Rally 2.0. What are we saying? Race control, apologies, I missed that. That's no problem at all. Are we going to talk to anybody? Should we talk to anybody before we say bye? Should we have a random interview, or should we just say thanks?
We're only about 40 minutes behind our planned time at the moment.
Neil, you won't have to have a banana live on air. You'll be able to wait until the show's finished.
So I think we can speak to John Armstrong. That's fine. So everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Wow. So
I'm sorry the dog
hasn't
made an appearance.
Normally be out with us, everyone. Work at the track, all the TV team, everyone that would normally be just bringing the event to a close. Lots of them are watching. Hello to you, and of course all the spectators who would have come. Thanks very much for tuning in. Hope this has been good. But thanks to everyone for your support. We wish we were all with you.
Well, look, let's get this done, everybody. That's what needs to be done. We need to. Everybody needs to listen. I know you're all watching from different places. I know the rules are different in different places. It's great to see. I know a lot of you guys in Spain finally were able to go out and have some exercise yesterday. I know this is a tough time for everyone at home. I've found it tough. I know Neil has as well. So get on WhatsApp, drop your mates a message, go and stream some dirt with one of your friends. Find a way to try and keep yourselves entertained and keep your chin up, because there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully at the end of the tunnel we're going to have some real rallycross as well. So keep your chin up, everyone. Right, we're going to have a chat with John Armstrong, who is Codemasters' tame rally driver. He's not very tame though. He posted some videos. Of him at Rally Germany the other day in the R5 car. My goodness me, that was some ballsy stuff. John, how's it going? He's muted. John, you're muted.
So good.
Oh, that's better.
You hear me now, yeah?
Yeah, got you now.
Yeah, it was really, really good race. I just didn't have the pace to stick with the Dynamo brothers, but to come first real driver over the moon, really, really happy.
Yeah, it's a weird one for you, isn't it? Because obviously you're a real life rally driver, but you work for Codemasters full time, which I have accused you that's pretty much cheating. But it's the esports guys are doing even more mileage than you are, aren't they? Or they were until shutdown.
100%. These guys are the world champion on the game. I play it for a very different reason. I'm developing it, and going as fast as I can around the track is not really what I do every day. But it's just really nice to race these guys. They're so fast. Everyone, even the real life drivers and the esports guys, they're all really quick, and I think everyone was really fair today as well. So I really enjoyed it, and I wasn't expecting it to be fast, so it's even more enjoyable for me.
It's interesting that you say everyone was really fair today. That's good to hear. There was lots of contact, but then Montalegre is a narrow, tricky, sideways circuit. There's not a lot of space for everyone to get through. So your perspective as a driver in that mix is that the racing was fair, yes?
Yeah, I think so. There was a couple of small incidents, but nothing that was scandalous, or you would say that someone was being completely unfair. And you know, that's what we want. We don't want real drivers and esports drivers coming together and someone throwing a tantrum. You know, we want fair racing. We want to show that esports is credible and it's a way that we can race whenever we don't have real life racing. And you know, we don't want it to become, you know, like a circus. We want it to be fair, and I think we got that today.
Cool. Well, yeah,
John, well done, mate. Absolutely brilliant. What were your thoughts on Shane van Gisbergen, just quickly? Because for me, that was like, to make the final. That was mega. I want to see him in a proper rallycross car.
Yeah, you know, Matt and Dan, who I work with, they were saying, you know, this guy's really, really good. He's a legend, and he's so quick in anything that he touches. And we've seen that today. He was fantastic. He won one of my heats, and I had a good battle with him, and I couldn't get past him or keep up with him. So, yeah, I think it's really good that we're bringing in all these different drivers and seeing some of them perform really well. So hopefully we'll do more of that in the future as well.
Awesome, John. Thanks ever so much for taking part, mate. Thanks to you and all the other drivers as well, and hopefully see you on the next one. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Thanks.
Neil, great fun, mate. Fantastic. Let us know, Race Control, if we're going to do anything else. Neil, did you have fun today?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. It's great to see Shane van Geers being fully sick, as I think they would say in his neck of the woods. And like, I'll be impressed with him. You know, that chapeau. That's someone who can do it both in real life and in esports, as he's proved today, John, by coming second. But yeah, what an incredible session. 19 races, and we have a winner.
And we've taken up half an hour less of your time than last time. We've just how much we've crammed it in. So I'm sure someone will say we could do an extra qualifying session or something. We'll find a way of bringing you extra. We just want to bring you extra. We just want to bring a few extra smiles about. So I'm knackered. I know Neil will be as well. It's been a great stint. I've had a great time. We have to say thank you to our new drivers, Mika Salo, Shane van Gisbergen, Antonio Felix da Costa, Matt Farowski, Rokas Bachuska, Connor Martel, Rainy Snittish, and Bilko as well. Bilko, we'll get you in next time. We'll try and actually get you in a race for Monster Energy. Thanks to the drivers as well who are on their second events. We appreciate you coming back and all the time you've been giving up. Thank you to you guys for watching at home and for your lovely comments that come in through the show and afterwards as well. It really is a smile. It lifts us, raises me, gives me a bit of a smile. I think the same for Neil as well. So keep them coming. Stay safe. What a brilliant event. Thanks to Motorsport Games, Code Masters, Cooper Tires, Game Bite, and Monster Energy as well. This has been the World RX Esports Invitational from Montalegre RX, and I'm sure we'll have more for you soon. See you then.